And we are live. What's good, people? It's your man, DL Saint. Welcome to the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. It's Monday. Man, y'all know what it is. Sorry for the late start, man. It's Halloween, and I got a teenage kid. Y'all know what it is. You know what I mean? It's just one of those crazy, crazy things. You guys know what I'm doing. I need to check to make sure the audio is good, which I'm sure it is. I'm almost 100% with my startup, but here we go. Let me just check it real quick. I'm just checking it real quick, guys, and we are good to go. Got a good one today, man. We definitely got a banger. Sister Follows in the house. What's good, love? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got your people here, so I know you was gonna be number one in the chat. So yeah, man, we about to get this thing going. I'm looking forward to talking to this brother right here, right now. Y'all understand what I mean? You know what I mean? Like we've never met in person. We're gonna correct that though. We're in this, you know what I mean? We're in the same neck of the woods as far as the planet goes. I'm just gonna try to make my way up to where my dude at, because I haven't been to that part of the world yet. I want to go kick it anyway. But just bumping into each other on different platforms and chat rooms and stuff like that. I have a lot of respect for what the brother says, and I offer him an opportunity to come up here and talk. And looked at his Instagram. Boy, this man's a real life Spartan. You know what I'm saying? Only dude I know ripped up like him is my dude Rook. You know what I mean? I know what it takes to do that kind of thing. Not only is this like he has his physicality together, his physique together, but his mind is on point as well. So y'all know what it is, man. Without dragging this on too much longer, man, put your hands together, make some noise for brother Cody in the house. Cody is king up in this piece. What's good, fam? How you doing? And what's good, fam? How you doing? Can you hear me?
How's it going? Right away, I'm getting the breaking up in the audio, but we'll hoping this corrects itself. I see Karen.
Yeah.
Hello. If I'm coming through.
Yeah, Cody's number one fan. Like, oh man, look, you got a fan club, a fan base, bro. How can I be down? I need to get me one of them. You know what I mean? What is it gonna take, bro?
keep spitting sense, man. I'm sure that they'll come. That's the only reason I've met people on here is just from talking to them.
And this is a good way of like, this is the new way of meeting folks. You know what I mean? I'm an old school dude. I'm an old man. I never thought that the day would come without meet through technology, as opposed to just, interacting with folks in the real world. But this is pretty cool, man. So let's give you a moment to tell everybody who you are, man. I'm just gonna give you your single screen and let you tell the world who Cody is King is.
Well, my name is Cody. I'm from British Columbia, Canada. I have always been into biology and health and fitness, and even a bit of biochemistry has been a passion of mine. All this red pill shit is super new to me, and I never even came across it till, I'd say, Andrew Tate went hyper viral, and it went in the order of Tate just before he got banned, for the same reasons that I'm banned on other platforms and constantly fighting to get my social medias back. Just Pearly Things, which is entertaining for a bit, but it tends to repeat the same nonsense again and again. Femme Sapien, which that did not last long, and then to Fresh and Fit, and all the subsidiaries after that. But that's my total encapsulation of my red pill knowledge here. People keep telling me about all these other guys, and I may have seen clips of them before, but it's not really my thing. You know what I mean? Like, so for example, Kiara there in chat actually has told me about Rich Cooper. And I think there's a reason why people, or guys like me, don't know about these guys, because you don't click on stuff to listen to the same shit you already fucking know. You know what I mean? And it's not entertainment value to just be told common sense again and again. So,
right.
Is that
makes sense to me, bro. Yeah, that's more than good enough, bro. Like I said, man, this is an opportunity, and I'm the same as you, bro. Like I stumbled into Manosphere Red Pill content, I guess about a year ago. Like most dudes, I was kind of going through stuff, and you want to go looking for answers. And you click on one thing, and that just takes you right down a rabbit hole. And I'm like, all right. And I'm looking at it, and it's like you said, this makes sense to me. I get it. But what I didn't understand was how many people don't get it. And everyone you mentioned, like, like Fresh and Fit, those are my guys. Like Myron and Fresh, shout out to y'all, they're my dudes. You know what I mean? I hang out with those cats. I listen to what they're saying, and they'll tell you, and like they've told their followers, they are two nerds that figured it out. Right. And what are they talking about? They're talking about the sexual marketplace. They're talking about dating strategies, both male and female. And they have become very successful talking about these things. You know what I mean? You look at someone like Rich Cooper, who's in Canada, a businessman who went through divorce court, and then he, lost a lot, and then he came back. You know what I mean? So Coach Greg Adams, Pearly Things, Andrew Tate, the list goes on and on. It's the same stuff pretty much. But is it needed? In your opinion, do you think this information is needed, or you think it's a little excessive?
I'd say both. Honestly, I think it's needed for the people that are actually sane-minded to hear this kind of shit, because they're just bombarded with all the nonsense all the time. But on the opposite side, it does kind of get out of hand quite often, right? Like some stuff is hyper-exaggerated, and just unrealistic for the majority of people. But that being said, the majority of people are fucking clowns, in my opinion. So we're not necessarily talking to them.
Yeah, real talk. I mean, just gotta keep it 100. You know what I mean? When you talk about that sort of thing. So yeah, when like I said, I bumped into you through some different chat rooms, like Black Man Unfiltered. You came through my podcast. You found me somehow. And like I always enjoy interacting with you. I see you in the chat. I'm always happy. Like, oh, we got a real one in the chat. And then we began to communicate. And then I saw your Instagram, bro. And I saw some of the posts, like the pictures you post, bro. To get to where you are physically, that takes a whole lot of work, man. How important is it, in your opinion, as a man, to take care of yourself, one, not just your physical self, but your mental self? How important is that? And to make yourself the best version of yourself?
I'd say it's the utmost importance, man, because one reflects the other and one helps the other too. So if you want to be physically and mentally competent, you got to realize that you do have to have some sort of physical power. Otherwise, you're just going to get pushed around no matter where you go, and you're not going to get the respect, and that's going to affect you mentally. Plus, it also is a great stress reliever, and you don't got to be scared about it if you can handle yourself. So I've seen quite a few guys trying to shit on dudes that work out, and I think it's fucking hilarious. It's always like some scrawny fucking Skeletor looking bitch trying to say, oh, the guys that work out are bitches. Like dog, if you think there's something admirable about being a scrawny bitch to the point where your girl can get walked up and slapped in the face or taken from you by force, you can do nothing about it. Like, you're not a man. You don't deserve to have that. Or maybe you do deserve to have that bitch, depending on who it is. But I think it's disgusting. And I think that when they're encouraging guys to be weak, that they're a pretty shitty type of person.
And I thought this was all an American thing, man. I'm starting to realize that it is pretty much all over the globe. Well, in most westernized societies. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. We got Brother Jose's in the house. What's good, fam? You know what I mean? Like and subscribe. Brother Primal's in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you too, bro. Sister Candace is in the house. Number one monster mod over there. Sister Candace, what's good? Good afternoon, Brother E on the chat. Good afternoon to you, love. You know what I mean? And, I see the chat getting, interacting back and forth. There's so much more to check out. To have some brother Primal and Brother Jose. Like, I see everybody's getting along in the chat, man. It's cool. It's cool when you start something like this and people come together and they recognize and communicate on your platform. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That geeks me out a little bit. Like, damn, I got a little platform and people come and they see each other. I kind of like that shit, man. I'm gonna find myself on the back, goddammit. You know what I mean? So we're gonna keep going. We got a lot of chats. I probably won't be able to hit them all, but I'm definitely gonna be highlighting all of them.
The people, right?
Yeah, I mean, you find like-minded people, and you find people who aren't of like mind, and you can have that discussion. That's what I like about this platform. You know what I mean? There's people over here that think one way, and there's people over here that think another way, but we all respect each other, and we get these thoughts out. And that's what I want to see, as opposed to being in one bubble where everyone's saying the same thing. You got this echo chamber. I hate echo chambers. I fucking hate it. I want you to be able to come challenge me. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to challenge me on some shit. Because I can learn. That's how we learn. How do you feel about that? Are you one of those people that has to be told the same thing or hear the same shit? I know the answer to this question, but I got to ask it anyway. You know what I mean? Or do you like to be challenged?
For the most part, I mean, quite often you'll run into, well, to make it simple, I'll call them retards. So quite often our retard is, it's meaningless. So they just want to get the last word, so sometimes you just have the last word. It's not about being right. It's just about screaming louder and having the last word. So let them have it sometimes. Walk away. You're not going to gain anything out of it. Doesn't matter how many times you spit sense at them. They're just going to repeat the same nonsense or cry about it. So, but I'm sorry because you broke up on a lot of that for my end. But finding people who are like-minded and have same similar morals, I think, is a great thing about the internet, because those people aren't plentifully available, unfortunately. So I think it is a great way. And as you can see in chat, a lot of these guys do know each other. I think it's great. I think it brings people together.
It is great. And what Brother Jose is saying here, when watching Red Pill content, people have to apply it, not only watch. Yes. And here's the thing with Red Pill. You have to really understand what applies to you. You know, I see this all the time when I'm talking to folks. I can remember being on Suzette Speaks show, and I will be seeing this on Fresh and Fit and other shows. When people start talking about a certain topic, they'll talk about men exercising options or men who cheat, right? Right off rip, people forget they're talking about a very, very, very small segment of the population. The men who can actually get away with that shit, they're like in the single digits. So, but then people start going crazy. So you saying my boyfriend can cheat, or some dude, some basement dweller who just managed to get out of the basement, who's still 300 pounds overweight, who still doesn't have any social skills, who's broke. That guy's like, yeah, I get to cheat on my girlfriend. I'm like, bro, how about you get a girlfriend first before we talk about who you get to cheat on? Yeah, you know what I mean? So yes, yeah. So Brother Jose, you're right. They need to apply it, but these guys need to understand what they are applying. So I definitely agree with you there. And that's what I'm here for. I want to show a lot of these guys is like, look, man, you may not want to be a guy who exercises those options. You might want to be a guy who gets a woman who respects him and he's better than himself. And that's all you get. That's cool. That's what you want to do. I ain't mad at you. But don't be running out here trying to do this hardcore RP stuff just because you're trying to be cool. You want to be perceived a certain way. It's like running to the gym. You go, jump on the bench. You think you're going to throw up 225 and you ain't never been in the gym before. Boy, you about to get yourself hurt. You know what I mean? Real talk. So, that bar's going to come crashing down to your little chest, man. It's going to hurt. Trust me. I've been there. I've been there. But,
yeah, I've been there too. Try to do more than I can, man. It's not, but like a lot of these guys, like, so I find that they want the whole thing, right? They want that whole lifestyle / ideology, but they're not willing to do the fucking work to even get anywhere close to that, or even acknowledge the fact that you're just not going to be this sniper stud at fucking 5'5". Sorry, especially if you're ugly on top of that, and now throw in your overweight. Like, who are you going to be cheating with? What are you talking about? And I'm not the biggest fan of cheating anyway. Like, if you were to say set these ground rules at the beginning of your thing, that's not really cheating. You've kind of discussed whatever's going to be going on, but even then, stuff affects people, so
that's real talk.
Situation.
What you just said right there, bro, is real talk, man. I tell folks all the time, if you have established that this is what it is from the beginning, ladies, it's not cheating. If you agree to these terms, ladies, it's not cheating. Men, if you get with a baddie and she's like, you're going to have to share me with a bunch of other dudes and you agree to it, it's not cheating. I don't know why you would agree to that, but hey, if you do, that's your business. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of people get that mixed up. They get that shit mixed up. Brother JSWANS in the house, man, my brother, man, for real.
No,
sometimes he said, sometimes, brother, we need to have a foot put to our ass as part of growth. Abso-fucking-lutely. So go ahead, brother. I'll cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I absolutely agree. That's all I was saying.
And that's what's up. So, man, what's your diet? Let's talk about the physical aspect of it, right? Let's talk about your diet real quick, and then we'll transition into some other things. how important is your diet to maintaining that type of physique? Because a lot of people, they go into the gym, right? They get on the bench, they think they're just gonna throw all this stuff up, but their body doesn't get cut up the way they wanted to cut up. And people don't realize what that issue is. Because could you share with folks how you can maintain that Spartan-like look?
It's a lot of hard work, honestly. You have to, its consistency is the biggest part. But other than that, you have to try to do more than you did before, and you have to eat like it's your job. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. Now, if you're already a fat fuck, that doesn't mean you just can not eat and go work out, because it's not going to work out for you. Yeah, raw eggs, like Kiara just posted, that's probably going to be the healthiest thing you can do. I know that sounds like it's going to get you sick, because that's what you've been told your whole life. Not fucking true. It's probably the healthiest, most complete food you can have.
Just all protein, just raw eggs. Just put them in a cup and swallow them down.
No, I mean, you could. I blend them in with, like, I would blend it with spinach or kale and some carrots. You can throw in a lot of shit, right? Like milk or like half and half cream. The idea is that when you blend it up, it makes it a lot easier. And the more shit you throw in there, like, you're not going to taste it. If you put raw eggs in a cup, it's going to be fucking gross. It's going to feel slimy and cold, and it's not going to be cool.
Yes.
It won't. Like, I did that when I was really young, and I decided to never do that again. But years later, I gave the whole eggs thing a shot again. You blend it up, you're not going to taste it. If you ever had like a
Just hanging there with us, y'all. We got just a little bit of technical difficulties, I think.
Raw eggs in it, usually, or blended, right? Or blended egg whites at least, but they're raw. Same with Orange Julius. Oh, am I not coming through again?
No, you're good. You're with us. You're with us.
Fine.
We lost you for a hot second. We got you.
Where did I leave off? I might switch over to the computer for audio and test that out in a minute here if this is going to be a problem.
Okay, it's your call. But we
we
caught the majority of that. We were talking about the raw eggs, and then we heard everything about blending it in. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, when people say raw eggs, I just think of the Bruce Lee shit when he just cracks the eggs into the cup and just drinks it. I'm like, oh man, can we fry it up first?
Yeah. You can. So the more you start cooking the eggs and trying to eat that as a daily lifestyle thing, the more you're going to get sick. And I don't mean like physically sick, like as in ill, but like you're going to start not wanting to do it. You're going to feel nauseous, and it's going to be rough.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to switch over to the computer. When he comes back, I'm going to let him know. Like, we'll probably just switch over to the computer, but don't go anywhere. I'll catch up on the chats real quick. Brother Primal had a pretty good chat, and having a logical mind to filter through some of the bullshit is key. It absolutely is. That's when we're talking about that red pill stuff. And brother Cody, yeah, man, you might have to switch over to the. I can hear you now. Yep, I can hear you.
I'm gonna re-click on that link and come back in if you can hear me.
Okay.
I don't know how much of this is getting cut off.
So he's gonna come back in and jump on. He's gonna re-click on the link and come back. I'll just catch up on the chats. And brother Primal is right. You have to have that logical mindset to filter through some of the B shit. Here's the thing, y'all. There's a lot of BS, a lot of bullshit out there in the red pill world. It is. There's a lot of bullshit in the world, period. We got an upcoming show about Hafiz. And Hafiz was trying to point this out from the roommates. And he's catching holy hell from the red pill side. And these guys are going off on him. But that is a guy who truly cares about male improvement. We got that. Make sure y'all here tomorrow for that show. We're going to break down how Hafiz did this quick video. And we're going to break down the video with just him talking about, what happened with Adam Sosnick's show and with Pearly Things and all that. And he was telling it, why he was saying what he was saying and what he was doing. So we're definitely going to check that out. Sister Follow, yep. It's the most being upfront about. Yeah, we were talking about being upfront. Like if you're gonna be with somebody and you want to go out there and quote unquote exercise options, cheat, whatever you want to say it, whatever you're gonna do with your relationship, be upfront about it. I tell guys all the time, don't lie, right? But you got these guys out here who don't. This is all they know how to do because this is their game. Their game is based on deception. They're gonna tell these women whatever they want to hear because they know it's easier. You can get women, you get anybody to do whatever if you tell them what they want to hear. It's easier. Me, I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna come at you with 100. This is what we doing. This is fun. I'm gonna rock it like that. So And that has nothing to do with being red pill, blue pill, anything like that. You know, when I say red pill, I'm talking about being unplugged and understanding the truth of what's going on in the world that we live. We got brother Smeebles in the house. What's good, fam? Good day to you, bros. Checking in from down under. I appreciate you coming through. Sister Follow just picked up my vitamin D. Yes, definitely want to take your vitamins. Sister Follow also sunny side up. At least, please. I ain't mad at you. I make some breakfast is my thing. I cook some really good breakfast. If you like sunny side up, I can make that happen for you. And I can even make it to where the yolks are a little bit warm. They're not like ice cold. Lots of nihilism, lots of entertainment instead of solutions. Yes, we're talking about the red pill side, manosphere. Let's not forget, folks, it's money being made. At the end of the day, it's money being made, right? Myron and Fresh, they believe in the stuff that they're talking about. They're showing you their lifestyles. I'm talking about Fresh. Fresh is out there getting it, doing this thing. Myron believes in all the stuff that he's talking about. 100. I wouldn't be surprised at all is when Myron's ready, he'll have 4 wives. He'll be living in the Sudan with 4 wives doing his thing. I don't doubt that for a moment. But there are a lot of people out there telling you what you want to hear on the red pill side because they want the money, they want the rah-rahs, they want the views, right? Andrew Tate. You look at Tate. Tate's telling you how he feels, but he's making money. Make no mistake about it. Andrew Tate's about getting the bread. He's very entertaining. He says stuff that is true. He says some wild, crazy stuff as well. You have to know how to filter through it. That's just the bottom line. But it's a lot of entertainment value there. There's a lot. JSWANS. You can only hide being a crackhead for so long. Be who you are. If she don't want you for who you are, then she ain't for you. That's a good point. Sister Candace has a question for Cody, and it's perfect because he's back. Question for Cody. What is your opinion of women in the red pill slant manosphere space and their attempts to red pill women? Damn, that's a good question. Brother Cody, can you hear me?
I can. Do I sound okay or am I quiet as fuck?
You good, bro. You good. The audio is good. And I don't know what the final mix is. One's in the chat. If the audio is good for Kobe out there, let us know. But did you hear the question that Sister Candace has for you?
I did.
So what is your opinion on the women in the red pill slant manosphere space in their attempts to red pill other women?
Be extremely careful is my opinion on that, because I think the worst thing you can do at all, whether you're a man or a woman, is take relationship advice from a woman. I don't know why this camera is so zoomed in, but be sincerely careful, because even if you find, say, a happily married woman and she's trying to find out or trying to help other women, quite often what you do is you'll get these women just going back and forth, gassing each other up. And even if their intentions are good, they're going to fucking lie to you. And they're going to say some fucking nonsense. I watched it happen with Femme Sapien. I watch it happen sometimes on Pearl's thing. It's almost never good. I know there's others out there, and I've tried to go and watch these, and almost always I can't, because it's nonsense. So I have to turn it off. Now, they might have the right attitude, let's say, for a good portion of it, but it tends to not work out well. And even in life in general, you should be able to figure that out. Girls quite often give each other horrible advice to set each other up.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And that's a good answer to that, too. My take on it, Sister Candace, like women in the RP space trying to RP other women. Here's the thing about the RP space with men. You can't RP another guy. You can't force them to take the red pill, quote unquote. And I would imagine the same is true for women. You can't force them to take the red pill. That's something they're going to have to come to that determination on their own. Now, what you can do, and what I would suggest, is simply lead by example. They can see how you are moving, and if they think that they want your type of relationship, then they'll come to you and ask you, "Hey, girl, how do you manage this? Hey, girl, how do you manage that?" I would do that. And what with the guys, when I'm out and about and I'm chilling, if I'm in Miami or if I'm in Dallas or I'm in LA or Atlanta or something like that, and dudes who know the way I move, they'll come up and ask me like, "Bro, how do you get that? How did you get her? How did you get this?" And then you just tell them, "Well, this is how I did it, bro." You know what I mean? I know that. How come you just didn't, when I overheard what she said, how come you just didn't lie to her? Like, man, I don't lie to women like that, bro. It ain't worth it, man. I'll just go talk to her girl.
Fuck that shit.
Right. I ain't got time for that. But the guys are like, but you could have smashed. It's like, I tell all these guys, and you tell me your opinion on this. I don't know if you heard me say this before. All these guys who run around talking about they top G, they top tier guy, they're high, you know what, high value man. I'm like, for only asking one question. Have you ever said no to having sex with a dime? I'm talking about a 10, a beautiful woman. Have you ever said no? And if they say, well, no, who would turn that down? Like, then you're not a G, bro. You're not a G. You know what I mean?
You'd be surprised.
Yes.
If you can't say no to that, you're definitely not a high value dude. Also, if you're running around saying you're a high value dude or whatever, you're probably not a high value dude.
Exactly.
You know, just like the same guys, like, I'm alpha. I'm not like, you're probably not. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to you either way. It's what other people see you as. Doesn't matter what you think. Alpha comes from your actions and how you are treated, right? So and that's how I would describe what a high value man is too. I know there's a million different opinions on it, but I would say it's a man that's respected by both women and men, right? And who's wanted by women, especially a lot of women. That would be a high value man, meaning a lot of women want him and other men respect him.
That's real talk. That's real talk. And that mirrors closely what Kevin Samuels would say. And you're right. You talk to 100 people, you get 100 different definitions of high value, be it for men or women. Let me ask you this, brother. What would you consider a high value woman?
Low body count, intelligent. It's really not that hard to be a high value woman, actually, because let me see here. I'd probably give this a better thought.
But right off rip, you went right to low body count. Now with body count. Let's kind of peel that back just a little bit. I'm old school. And my mindset, the way we came up, I don't believe I've ever been with a virgin, and I don't believe I ever will. Right? It's just not a thing. So when it comes to body count, like if you had 1 or 1,000, it doesn't matter to me. However, I will say this. I understand what some of these red pill people are saying and what some of these social scientists are saying, that there are a certain numbers. Like if you're a female and if you've been with 1,000 guys, your mindset has to be different than a woman who's been with 100 guys. And that will be different than a woman who's only been with 5 guys. I understand that, but body count really means nothing to me. If you display as a hoe, I don't care if your body count is 2 or 20,000, you a hoe. So what's your take on all that?
That definitely has its place. I will say that, but that's a how you carry yourself thing. So of course that's going to matter. No guy wants to be embarrassed because of his girl, right? And I think one of the most embarrassing things you could have as a guy would be a fucking trash seeming woman at your side. You want to display your thing. You don't want to be getting laughed at no matter where you go.
Right.
The reason I say low body count, I find it to the same way that like a guy who has a high body count, and it's a display of value. It's also a show of character, right? If you have the discipline and the work ethic to become a big dude, that doesn't come easy. It actually takes years of work, right? So it's a display of character. Just like for a woman, it's easy to get laid. It's really easy. So if you have 1,000, let's say, I think that's a display of character. You've not shown any discretion to what you're doing. So for me, it does matter. Now, does it have to be a virgin? No, but I'm also probably not going to get married, or at least I don't plan on it. So I see that tends to be a large talking point in this sphere of the internet is marriage. And it depends what you want. The further you go down the sleeping with multiple dudes route, the less likely you are to get the type of dude you want and for the type of relationship you want with him. And that's just the reality.
You know I'm gonna have to clip that, bro. That was fucking fire right there, man. That's for you, homie. That was fucking fire. Because like, you hear a lot of people talk about this, but I think you kind of put it in the box it needs to be in. You know what I mean? Again, I don't care. Here's the thing: no woman is ever gonna tell you her fucking body count. Let's just keep it 100. You know what I mean?
Will, but usually it's a lot higher than
what they say. Yeah.
Be. Well, even if they tell you the truth, it's usually like I've met 20-year-olds with like 50 body counts. And it's like, holy fuck, how do you have time to do that? But
yeah, shit, 2-3 at a time, bro. They smash, and that's not everybody that they counted.
Right. Yeah. So Those are just my relationships. What the fuck?
God damn, but I mean, it's just sex is so loose. Sister Follow, she's like, that's what I like about your channel though. You do reactions, but you also have good convos, breaking down different problems and paths and to solutions, critically analyzing logical options. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate that. I really do. And we just trying, man. I understand that I am in a bubble. And when I mean me, I mean the DLC and I Really Want to Know podcast is within a bubble. And most of the people in that bubble are from the manosphere, from the red pill. I just want them to become thinkers. That's what I'm doing here. I real talk. I'm trying to get them to be thinkers. When I find people like Brother Cody here and we can have a conversation, right? You know what I mean? If I could sit down with a real fucking man and have a conversation, I think that this conversation needs to be had in this bubble. You know what I mean? And I'm not doing it for likes. I'm not doing it for clicks. Y'all motherfuckers need to hear this shit. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. Sister Candace says the sound is good, and it is. Thank you so much for that. Miss Globe Girl, my favorite sailors in the house. What's good, love? Hello to you. Brother Jose, exactly, Dio. We have been our own leaders, but also be open to listen to others. But at the end, we make our own decisions. You have to. I can't tell you how many dudes that I've met in these spaces who come to me and ask me, what should I do? And it always makes me sit back in my seat like, what the fuck you mean? You're asking me to tell you what to do. You're grown. This ain't a war situation. I'm not giving you orders. I'm not telling you what hill to take. I'm not telling you what flank to go. You need to make up your own decision, bro. I don't know what's going on in your life, but it's so many guys that come up to me and they ask that question. Women too. So, fellas, if the one thing I want y'all to take from the red pill world, someone like Myron and you know, Andrew Tate and Rich Cooper and those guys, be your own fucking man. That's what they're telling you. Be the best version of yourself, AKA be your own fucking man. You know, make your own decisions and stick by it. Go ahead, brother.
I can touch on that if you like.
Oh, absolutely. Please do.
I think that's actually the point where you said that you're a grown man. I don't think that actually is the case for a lot of these people. And I mean that on both sides of the sexes. I think it's a whole lot of large children rolling around here. And I think that they were raised by their spoiled parents who were also got everything they wanted and told during the hippie ages that they can be whatever they want, sleep with whoever they want. And I think it's created this type of society for the rest of us to play with, unfortunately. I think we got a whole lot of mentally ill motherfuckers with destroyed hormones and shitty mindsets that have been told that been told you can have everything without doing anything your whole fucking life. So
Yep. Fucking facts, bro. Brother JSWANS is saying they can attempt to move like you, but they have to remember they are not you. It won't work. Yes, you can try to move like Fresh, but you're not Fresh. That's a humble motherfucker who done worked his ass off to get where he is right now. You're not Fresh. You can try to move like Andrew Tate and go into the gym, but you're not Tate. You know what I mean? You can try to move like me and Brother Cody, but you ain't us. You have to move like you, gentlemen. You have to move like you. As far as ladies, hey, listen, ladies, I'm not a woman, so I will not even begin to speak on what I think you guys need to do, but I will tell you this, right? No man, especially a top tier guy, has respect for women who are loose and have high body counts and are out there, you know what I mean, sexing up all the dudes looking for attention like that. No guy's about that. No guy at the top tiers are about that. You can always get a bottom 80 guy. He'll do whatever and let you. He'll drive you to your boyfriend to get, you know what I mean, get your back blown out and pick you up and bring you home and clean you up. But the dudes y'all want ain't gonna do that shit, man. Any thoughts on that?
Exactly. The guys you want aren't going to be the ones doing the things you claim you want. I think that's quite often the case. A lot of girls will say they want this and that, and it's never the case. It's like, okay, if dudes love these fucking whores so much, why are there all these whores available looking for relationships? And if girls love fucking these virgin fucking dweebs so much, why are there all these dweebs sitting here alone threatening to kill themselves? It's not the fucking reality, right? Otherwise, all these motherfuckers be up together, wouldn't they? Be a nice little fit. The fucking the beta male and the whore.
They'd be top tier, wouldn't they?
Together. Oh yeah.
If that was the case, they would all be top tier.
According to their ideologies, they'd fit together perfect. You know, she can go cheat on whoever, and he can just sit there and be the fucking cuck. But it's not the reality.
Man, that's crazy.
It's a fucking delusion.
Yes, get out of the delusion. You can't. Everyone doesn't get a trophy. I don't care what mommy and daddy said. Everyone doesn't get a trophy. In the real world, there are winners and there are losers. And if you can't understand that, well, you're not a winner. You got to get your shit right. Right? Man, I'm going through it now with my daughter, trying to explain to my daughter that this is how the world works. I don't want to hear about your friends and how they mama did this, that, and the third. I don't want to hear about that. You're not in that house. You're in this house. This is how the world works. In 5 years, you're going to be out here in the world on your own. Right? Yeah, you're always going to have mommy and daddy to support you, but you're going to be out here making moves on your own. You need to understand how this world works. Gentlemen, red pill, and ladies out there who looking for a high value man, there are people out there who will tell you what you want to hear and gladly take your money. If that happens, it's your fucking fault. Don't get mad at anyone else. Don't get mad at society because you paid $10,000 to go to a football game thinking there was going to be some hot chicks there or high value guys there. There's two female coaches out there that were charging $10,000 a head and $15,000 a head for these seminars on how to get high value men. Do you feel sorry for those women who spent that money?
I fucking do it big time. Number one, you shouldn't take relationship advice from a girl at all. And just because a dude's going to sleep with you does not mean he'll ever fucking want a relationship with you. It's not the same thing. And I think that conflates a lot of these girls' egos and feeds into that delusion. It's like, okay, just like a guy will use you like a fucking masturbation toy, basically, for lack of better words. But that's the reality.
Yeah. And a woman will use you as an ATM. That's how it works.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's how it works, man. Catch up with the chats real quick. What We Know podcast. My brother JT is in the house. What's good, fam? Yeah, had to check in with you, bro. Keep it going, my guy. I appreciate that, man. So that's the relationship part, man. So tell me about life in Canada, bro. So I'm assuming you were born and raised. That's where you've been the majority of your life?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the majority, for sure. I've definitely traveled around quite a bit.
Right, but home has always been Canada. It's not like you were born in Yugoslavia and decided to move over and no shit like that, right?
No.
So, and we're your neighbors to the south, bro. I know what it's like in America, and we touched on this a little bit before we started the show. What is it like in Canada? And I want to talk about like growing up. Like, what are the streets like in Canada, bro? You hear the horror stories about America, but what's going on up there?
It depends where you're at. So quite often it's copy paste. Like realistically, we follow you guys almost to a point. Now, granted, we're like 1/10 the population or less. So you're not going to get as much of the extremes, and our news media isn't the same. So you're not going to hear about as much of this crazy shit when it goes down. But personally, when I was like 17, I had a choice that I was looking at for possibilities. And I was actually looking into it for a while to go join the SEALs in the States because I know they accepted foreign peoples.
We'll accept everybody.
Right. Unfortunately, I made the wrong choice and chose a less admirable lifestyle, and I got to see full-fledged the street life and the hyper violence that comes with that for a few years, and it was the wrong choice.
So this is what I want to get into. Even in Canada, you guys deal with that because think about it. Like when you think about different countries, you know, people talk about the French. And like, oh, the French are soft. I'm like, until you get into the streets, bro, they'll cut your liver out right there.
People that fucking say that have no idea about history whatsoever and have never been to France. I've actually been to France a lot. I've spent probably about 3 years of my life there. And if you go to Paris, you're going to find a lot of similarities to New York. Nobody fucking wants to talk to you. They're not nice. There's tons of dangerous regions in Paris too. Like, yeah, they got nicer looking buildings, but there's just like everywhere, there's good areas, bad areas, and there's a lot of crazy people.
Yeah, and it's just having that closed off American mind, thinking, man, ain't no hood worse than my hood until you go to some hoods that are worse than your hood, right? And it ain't that. We used to see people from LA and New York come to Cincinnati all the time, right? And they come in loud. Oh, bro, they come in loud, but they don't understand. Like, this is a small place, and we still doing the same things they was doing, and all of them got caught up. You know what I mean? They all left there with a healthy dose of respect for like these small towns. Like, bro, stay out of there, man. Them boys are berserkers. And then you go somewhere like, you know, you go to Mexico, go to parts of Mexico City, and you want to talk about, dude, listen, there's not many things out here I'm afraid of. But in Mexico City, man, for real, my eyes were up. I'm like, what the hell are we doing over here? The stuff that I saw over there in just a few hours. It's like, yo, man, please take me back to South Central. Take me back to the South Side of Chicago. I'd rather be over there than be dealing with this. And it gets worse if you the places in Africa that are just so bad, in Indonesia, and the list goes on and on. So that's what's up, man. I don't want to. I don't know what y'all's system is like up there as far as statute of limitations and all that, but the underworld is still the underworld in Canada, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the same shit, and like you're gonna get a lot of most of the people that are famous in the United States. I'd say a large portion of them are Canadian, so that surprised you as well, including the criminals. There's a large amount of American criminals here, and Canadian criminals, and people from other places too. It's just, you will find the same things all over the world, no matter where you go. A knife from this country or that country is still a knife. It's still going to fucking stab you. You're still going to get shot. You're still going to get fucked up. A real big guy punching your jaw will still break your fucking jaw. It's a delusion thing. Even in Mexico, I have a buddy from Mexico City, and the area he lives, he's technically rich as fuck.
Right.
So you will find the whole spread no matter where you go. Same with Paris. There's nice areas, and there's areas you'd be walking down the street and you have to be dodging the landmines of bums shitting in the middle of the sidewalk while you go, and people just don't even care.
Man, yeah, that's crazy, because I saw that in the UK when I was in London. I saw that there. You know what I mean? I haven't seen that in Medellin.
Well, that's another example, right?
Yeah.
England, you can get stabbed without even the guy telling you he wants your watch. He just stab you, take your watch, you know? And
that is facts. That is facts, boy. And the way that they do it, man, yeah, they ain't playing. Like here in America, yeah, you got gunplay, pistols and all that, AKs and whatnot. But over there, the guns ain't out there like that. They got them, but they don't use them like that. They come up over and stick you. And to me, that's a whole nother level to this violent stuff, bro.
It's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper, and it takes a lot more to walk up and stab somebody. Anybody can shoot somebody from, feet and feet away. You know what I mean? But to actually walk up on somebody and cut them, bro, you know what they smell like. I mean, that's like a whole nother level of violence. And that's what y'all deal with up there. Is it mostly stabbings, or is it equal with the shootings and stabbings?
No, there's a lot of gunplay.
A lot of gunplay?
More gunplay than stabbings, for sure. You just don't hear about it.
Yeah, I guess we export all our weapons up there too. It is what it is.
It's a lot easier to get, say, illegal weapons up here than it is to get them legally. And besides, why would you want a registered gun to do anything illegal anyway? So it doesn't make sense. It's cheaper too half the time.
That's insane. And for those people who are like, yeah, we need to do away with all the guns. You're never going to do away with all those weapons. You're not. All you're doing is putting yourself at a disadvantage to the people out there who are already breaking the law. They're going to get their hands on what they need to do their dirt.
Exactly. It's like the example you gave for the UK and Australia. They still have fucking mass shootings in both those places. They're not going to report them as much because it goes against the narrative, doesn't it? But I could show you videos of dudes strapping cameras to their chest and walking through like temples or mosques or whatever the fuck it is, and playing like they're fucking in Call of Duty, wiping all these people out in a place that banned guns. So why do they have mass shootings and just shootings in general from crime? Crime is going to be crime.
Yep. Man, that's crazy, bro. So my biggest thing here in America, and we touched on this earlier, is we're not preparing our children for the world as it is today. We're giving our kids everything. At least down here, they don't go outside and play. I don't know what's going on in Canada. I assume similar. Mommy and daddy bulldoze all the problems out of their way. So they get out into the real world and they find that they can't handle the real world. They go berserk. You know what I mean? So what's your take on that, man? Should parents be held accountable for their kids' actions once they're under 18? And then once they're over 18, should they be held accountable a little bit? Maybe civilly, like if some kid goes out and does an active shooter thing, should the grieving family be allowed to sue the parents that raised that kid?
To a point. I would say they're definitely responsible for them for as long as they're actually their property, because that is the case. You are your parents' property until you're of legal age. So you're responsible, period. Not to mention just a moral sense. It's your job to raise that person to be how they should act. That's your whole fucking job. So of course they should be held responsible. But to a point, like, if they can't be the only ones. A lot of these parents are completely oblivious oblivious and clueless. And the kids and the parents before them have been bombarded with propaganda and social engineering their whole lives, both the parents' life and the kids' life. It starts even preschool via all the things you watch on TV and all the media you consume. But it continues. And if you go to secondary education, it's going to get ramped up even more, right? To the point where if you disagree, it's almost as if you're breaking the fucking law. So,
man, that's crazy. That's what's up, man. Because I don't have an answer for it. I got tons of questions, but sometimes I don't have any answers. But that's something that I think we need to look at, especially in this country. These kids are just out of control, and they're out of control because they're not being brought up right or trained properly, or whatever term you want to use, by their parents who, like you said, weren't trained properly or who weren't brought up right. You know what I mean? Because people were asking me about it. I'm like, man, you should have to get like certified to be a parent. I don't think anybody should just go out and get pregnant just because they can. They have to prove that they're going to be like a parent. I got to get a license to drive a car. You know what I mean? Fly an airplane. I was like, you should have to get a parent license before they let you go out here and start making a bunch of kids. But people think I'm crazy when I say stuff like that.
You know what? I somewhat agree with you. And it's a super touchy subject because I think one of the main things right now is they're pushing for government ownership of children and people in general. So,
that is a scary thought, bro. That's scary.
So at the same point, a lot of these kids that are coming up like this, they are already in the system like that, or their daddy is the government, right? And yes, the mom's to blame too, but really the father figure in that case is Big Daddy government, and that's who pushes the media, that's who pushes the talking points, and that's who pushes the lifestyles that we see everywhere. So that's the government being responsible for that too, being their parent, isn't it? So it's a really tricky, touchy subject. I think people need to go back to beating the shit out of their kids, really. Unfortunately, it may sound crazy, but you got to do what you got to do. Right? I mean,
bro, I took mine. I can't tell you how many whoopings I got. Like, you get a spanking? I don't know what a spanking is, but I know I got my ass beat. I know what a whooping is. I don't know what a spanking is. I'm with you on that. But again, society won't allow you to do that. So when someone like me comes along, like, well, shouldn't our parent be held to account? Well, it's like, well, the parent tried to do what they thought was necessary to make this kid, you know, act a certain way, but the government came in and said, no, you can't touch them. So then back to what you said, the government, it sounds like the government is going to be responsible for the people, which is
like parent, and they got to fucking take parental responsibility. But I don't think they should be acting like parent at all. I think there should be early on punishment to correct behaviors that will get out of control later on. Because chances are, if you correct that earlier, it's not going to start up later.
Exactly.
So, and it's not going to cost other people problems or lives. So, but it's a super difficult subject because there's not any one answer. You know?
And all the answers are tough ones. There's no easy solution for this sort of thing. And people, just like everything else, at least down here, people don't want to handle the tough stuff. They just want to tell you what you want to hear so they can keep their seat in Washington and keep making all that money. Like, you know, yeah, it is what it is. You got politicians worth hundreds of millions of dollars, man. Like, being a politician, hey, man, like, don't hate the players, y'all. Hate the game. So, Sister Candace M., thank you, Brother DL and Cody, for your responses. I personally do not consume RP content supplied by women for some of the reasons you stated. Yeah, women can give bad advice. Dudes can give bad advice too when it comes to like the dating world. But I'm doing a show tomorrow. No, Wednesday. I'm doing a show Wednesday. We're going to be talking about sexless men in America, like this problem. And, you know, more and more people, this issue is getting closer and closer to mainstream. I got a few articles and some YouTubers I'm going to react to. And when they ask women for their solutions on this problem, the answers just blow my mind. But like Brother JSWANS, I would consider a high value woman a woman that understands her worth, brings value to those around her, especially her man. Can't argue that, bro. I can't argue that. And there's like most of the women that I encounter, they truly don't understand their worth. And you have that element that they feel entitled to everything, especially if they're truly beautiful. I have yet to come across a woman that tells me she's ugly and mean it. You know what I mean? They're looking for a compliment. They're fishing. But
right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even a three is like, no, I deserve a man who is this, and this. And it's like, damn, shawty. Like, for real?
That's like what I was saying before. They get into this female headspace and they all gas each other up and lie to each other, and that doesn't help anybody. This is why I don't think you should lie to bitches at all. I don't think girls should be taking advice from women. Like, yes, there are a few super rare women out there who will tell you it like it fucking is, but quite often they don't want to do that because they don't want to deal with the back clap from it, and they don't want to be mean or whatever they consider to be mean, and that's bullshit. Because if you're gonna give people lies and incorrect advice, you're going to be responsible. Well, maybe not responsible, but you're contributing to them going through that life with that delusion and expecting to get different results. And it's not helping fucking anybody. You're setting people up for failure.
For real. I agree with you 100%. And women, I have yet to meet a woman who will tell her friend that she looks fat in a dress or she needs to go to the gym, or you need to stay with that guy because you're never going to get a guy as good as him. You never hear that. And if they do, that's it. That's the end of the friendship. You know what I mean? The other friend's going to call her a bitch, going to call her a slut, all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, man, she's just trying to help you. That's your girl's supposed to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? So you're absolutely right about that.
Well, I think women go into this competition area when it comes to that. It's like, if I tell her to get better and she actually gets better, then it's going to make me look worse, kind of thing.
You know, Bill Burr touched on that. He was like, he's like, if women supported the WNBA the same way they support some fat, ugly chick who, you know what I mean? Like, WNBA will be doing better numbers than the NBA. He didn't get canceled for it. It was the funniest thing. Is that Live at Rare Rocks on Netflix. Y'all go check it out. It's man, that bit is so damn funny. Brother Smeebles, deep down, everyone truly knows what they need to do. Yeah, that's real talk, man. Right. Deep down, but they don't want to. You can't reveal it. If you reveal it, it becomes a problem. Brother Smeebles continues, you need to learn the true power of your given names. Yeah, Sister Candace, while you may be reluctant to give women advice, DL, it would still behoove a woman to take the advice of men, since you all are fishermen, in my opinion. Shout out to Myron for the analogy. Yeah. If I wanted to know how to get a man romantically, I would talk to a woman. You know what I mean? If a woman wants to know how to capture a guy, maybe she should listen to a dude. Like, what do men want? We see it all the time on Fresh and Fish show. I don't watch the late nights, the after hours anymore. I'll catch them on replay. But you see it every single night. These women have no idea what it takes to get a guy, and more importantly, retain the guy. Like, they can push the breasts out, you know what I mean, and put the makeup on and wear the short skirts. Yeah, some dude is going to blow your back out. But after that, after the sex, how can you keep that guy? They have no clue. No clue. And I assume it's the same up there. Oh, go ahead.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's not this, like, you don't even have to do half of that extra shit to get fucked by a guy. You really don't.
You really don't.
The more you fucking paint your face on, that's another thing, is these bitches will call themselves 10s when really they're like a -2, and they can paint on their entire personality. Like, that doesn't, like, Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder they're so delusional. Not to mention, I'll just tell you girls this right now: the less makeup you wear, the more attractive you're going to be, especially to a more quality guy.
Man, please say that. Please say that again. Please say that one more time.
The less makeup you do, the more attractive you're going to be to a higher quality guy.
Ladies, clip that part and send it to your female friends who want to spray on all the makeup. Why are you wearing makeup? Dudes don't even care about your makeup. They just trying to smash. They don't give a shit what you look like. I mean, just keep it in 100.
Fucking half the time it's not worth it, because, like, fuck. I mean, I've run into some cake faces before, but I've seen some scary things on the internet where these bitches can completely change their face. They could become fucking Barack Obama or Tom Cruise with the same bitch. You know, so it's frightening. And I think that's another thing for a guy. Like, that's a huge red flag. Be careful. Hell, you might not even know if that's a woman. Just ugh.
Hey, I lived in LA for a long time, bro. I'm telling you, West Hollywood. Shout out to my LGBTQ people, plus, whatever they are, bro. The wonders of modern science will turn a male into one of the hottest females you've ever seen in your life. Like, have you looking back to you about to crash your car and with the makeup and the surgeries to remove things. Now, they haven't figured out how to change the hands. They haven't figured out how to change the shoulders. But if you got someone who's petite, that's from a region of the world where they're already small and kind of feminine, bro, I'm telling you.
That's something to be careful about. If she looks too good, Be concerned.
Be very, very concerned. The lady boy
in all the exact places that you would look, like there's only guys will know where to be putting them things in those places. So just be careful.
Be careful out there. It's a brave new world, and they don't have to tell you. I've come across like just kicking in Hollywood or whatever at a party or something like that. You might pull up and start talking to somebody, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll finally tell you like, I used to be a man, or I'm a trans man, or whatever they say, whatever they say. Bro, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, thank you. They don't legally have to do that. Right? They don't have to.
They should have to. My opinion. That's kind of fucked up.
It's man, they don't legally have to do that. And it was a time, again, like the late 90s, early 2000s, they would say something. And people like, oh, well, sound like you was out there creeping, Uncle Saint. Nah, bro, I was in Hollywood, man. That's where they at. That's like the lead in science was out there, bro. But at least they understood. They had a community. They did their things. If you were in certain clubs, that's different. Like you go to Boys Town, there's certain clubs, you know what it is. I never did that. There's a lot of guys who that's how they hunt. They go into the gay clubs because there are tons of women in there. And the women assume all the guys are gay, which is like a whole nother game. So the women, their guards are down, and these guys are being there acting effeminate, but they really hunting for women. No, I tell sisters about that all the time. Like, dudes will do it. They'll do whatever to get chicks. Now, I never did that. Like, nah, man, I'm too uncomfortable to be in here like that. You know what I mean? But there's dudes that do it. And like what Brother Cody was saying, man, the lady boy thing, Black Man Unfiltered, they had a show, I think it was the Barbershop or something like that, when they were saying, are trans women taking over or replacing organic women, which was a really good conversation they had over there. Shit, bro, I don't know, to be honest with you. But these males out here, they'll go after they'll go after these trans women and be happy with it because they're dealing with guys, and society is like, oh, it doesn't make you gay. Like, it doesn't? Like, you're attracted to a dude. Well, it doesn't look like a dude anymore. That's a dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is the clown world that we're living in. It's gotten so skewed. I don't even know how to deal with that, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like,
I've seen that happen more and more, honestly. And I somewhat understand why, like, if you consider the fact that most dudes are becoming effeminized and they're not the man they should be, kind of thing, and they're having a bad time with these girls who think that they're all above, they're 20 out of 10s when they're like 400 pounds kind of shit with green hair. So it somewhat makes sense that, yeah, they're going to go with this thing over here, which looks and acts more like a girl than the fucking girls do. Like, it somewhat makes sense. Could I do it? Fuck no. But do I understand? Sure. And it's a scary thing. As far as replacing them, I don't fucking know in what way. As in, like, recreational use, I could see it as gross. Right. But there's a lot of guys that don't care.
Right. And you can't have kids, so you can never replace a woman.
You ain't gonna, well, you also ain't gonna get them pregnant.
So there you go. So I don't know, but if we don't have these conversations, I think there are young men that get lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, bro. JSWANS, never take advice from someone who doesn't have what you want. If you want a healthy relationship, then talk to people in healthy relationships, I think is one to say, and have a type of relationship you want. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Be careful who you take your advice from. Real talk. He continues, if parents were held responsible for their kids and had to do jail time for their kids acting up, I'm positive you will see less kids getting into trouble. Or I agree with that, but maybe you will see parents bringing their kids to the government, like, take this little badass bastard, I can't do nothing with him. Right? But you can't hold me to account because this one, you look at the Columbine thing, which was like the first big active shooter thing, right? First, them boys stockpiled all their weapons, ammunition, and explosives in the house. Yeah. Where you know what I'm saying? That woman should have had to do time as an accessory.
Once again, I'll say it like this. So if they do bring their kids to the government, then government's responsible. So is government going to do the time? Who's going to be responsible for that? The social care workers? They probably should. Honestly, most of those people are scum and they contribute to a large part of child trafficking. Yeah. And then as far as the Columbine thing, that was known ahead of time by various government agencies as well that these kids are fucked, and about the weapon purchases they were making too. So once again, the government is partially to blame for that as well. Sure, the parents are as well, but so is the government. So if you know ahead of time somebody's fucking acting sporadic, you've got them on this chart for being mentally unstable, and you see them purchasing all these weapons because it's not like they don't have complete records of all their finances, right? Like, that's reality. People are like, oh, that's the future, they're gonna be able to track. They already do track all your shit, man. Come on.
Yeah, been doing that, bro.
Yeah,
been doing
years. So both are responsible, in my opinion, for that. Absolutely. Yes, it's the parents' responsibility. Yes, the government and FBI especially could have done something about that way earlier. And you'll find that that's the case most of the time, honestly. So,
man, I agree with you there, bro. Sister Candace, some of the women I've seen in RP space have regurgitated talking points from the men in the space. So in addition to their bad advice, they don't see any value in supporting their platforms. Yeah, that's a good point there. I'm just catching up with the chats. Brother Hyoka's in the house. What's good, fam? I hope you resting that back, bro. Yeah, he had to go through some sort of he had an issue and had to go through some stuff. But you better be resting, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me find out you ain't resting, man. I'm gonna come out here and break your back again. Pause. I don't mean it that way. Sister Follow. Have yet to meet women who told me to stay and work things out with my man. That's sad. That's it. And I want to say for the record right now, I know for a fact there are women out there who do tell their friends to stay, to work things out. When they know it's a good guy, you know, they do tell their friends, girl, don't go out. Quit hanging with your whole friends over there. I do know women who do that. And it's a shame we don't hold them up. Go ahead, bro.
Unfortunately, they're rare, right?
They are rare. We don't hold them up, and they are rare.
Can you go back to Candace's thing? I wanted to touch on that, but I want to reread it.
This one right here?
From Candace.
Oh, from Candace, up here. Yep.
The REDPILL. Oh, so I've actually talked about this with Kiara, and I think she agrees with you on that one. I think you're right. They do. They repeat and read off the talking points as if it's a fucking script. There's no actual extra sense. There's nobody has their own thoughts.
Yeah,
right?
no nuance whatsoever.
No, they just repeat the same bullshit. So I agree with you there. In addition to their bad advice, I don't see any value in supporting. No, like if a lot of these things are going to be for entertainment, and you have to see that for what it is, right? Don't take none of this red pill shit or any of these other fucking faggot colored pills as a direction that you should go. You take in the information that is valid, and then you can make up your own mind about that. You don't ever just fucking follow what somebody says. Don't listen to me. Listen to what I say. Make your own decisions upon it.
That's real talk. That's real talk. And Sister Follow wants to know, can you give us some tips on retaining men? You want to go first, bro? I got a couple ideas.
You go first, dude.
All right, so when it comes to retaining men, right? Here's the thing. The way I see it when it comes to sex, a guy's in it for the sex. Let's just keep it 100. The guy's dealing with you, yeah, he might dig you and all that, but he's in it for the intimacy. He wants to have some sex. All right, so you get a guy, y'all have already had sex. And it's like Fresh and Myron would say on Fresh and Fit. At some point, you need to add value to that guy. How do you add value? It can be very, 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 very subtle things, right? Don't nag him, right? Don't tell him what to do, right? Let him lead. If he has leadership qualities and you really care about this man, follow him. Let him lead. If he's if he doesn't have those leadership qualities, if he's a terrible leader, then move on, right? Little things. Clean the kitchen. Cook for him. You know what I mean? Like be there. Don't just make him do everything for you. Do things for him every now and then. If he's I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan. If I'm dealing with the woman and the Cincinnati Bengals are coming to Tampa to play the Buccaneers, and the woman wants to add value to me, she will put together a whole package to where we're going to watch the game. And if she hates football, she'll just make it like, I called up your homies. It's going to be you and the crew. We done got your tickets. Y'all going to the game. That's something that a guy would never forget that. Like, damn, she got me tickets to the game? You know what I mean? Little things like that. Help him better himself. If he's like, I'm putting together this platform. So if a woman wants to add value to me, she will be watching the platform, giving me notes. Oh, you know what? I see that you could use another light So I went and bought you this other ring, like you could put here so you can get better lighting, or I bought you something for the background. Little things like that. And I know women are like, well, why should I do all that? He should be supporting me. I'm like, if you want a guy, you want to keep that guy there. That's how you do it. By default, if you get married to him, or if y'all be getting to a serious relationship, he's going to provide a home for you. He's going to provide protection for you. He's going to be willing to die for you. He's going to go out and work as hard as he can to support you. Right. So you got to take all that into consideration. At least that's my take on it.
No, you're absolutely right. Honestly, the small stuff goes far further than if you're trying to do gifts or do things that you think you would like. That doesn't mean shit to a guy. We don't want fucking flower petals laid around the house. We don't want stupid expensive gifts for stuff we're never going to use or to wear, all this kind of bullshit. Who fucking cares? Like, maybe sometimes if you really want, sure. But most of the time, guys are going to accept that shit, at least from my perspective, are going to accept that shit to make you feel better. So it's like you're buying yourself a gift. Like, we're giving you like, oh, thank you. Oh, great. We're doing that for you. We don't give a fuck. You know, if we wanted it, we would have bought it ourselves for the most part.
Right.
As far as other shit to retain a guy, sex whenever he wants and when he doesn't ask. I think that's super important. Don't say no to anything in the bedroom. I mean, I think that's going to be, if you keep that up, you're not going to be around long, or at least it's going to cause a huge detriment to your relationship. Having a clean house, like you said, is huge. It's one of those little things that actually goes a long way. It's a number one, it's really appreciated, and it's honestly a respectable trait to have. And when you, like, if I go see a girl and she has a fucking impeccably clean place, my opinion of her is much higher than if I go see this hoe over here who's got fucking shit all over the place. It's huge. It actually is. What else? Don't ever embarrass him. That's a quick way to get cut off if you're doing stupid shit, especially in public. If you want to argue, do that in private. You shouldn't, which leads me to another point. Don't be arguing for the sake of fucking arguing. He's only going to put up with that for so long if he is a real man. Now, if he's a fucking beta bitch, he might let you do that for your whole life. But guess what? You're not going to fucking like that, will you? Because girls don't like that. Quite often what they want is when they're acting like a little cunt, they want you to fucking yell at them or get up in their face and tell them to shut the fuck down and shut the fuck up. And they get wet. They fucking love that shit. You can watch them go from angry bitch to submissive happy wife. It's hilarious. What else?
And brother Cody warned me. He's like, "You sure you want me on the site, bro? I'm gonna let it out." I'm like, yeah.
I told you I'm gonna say shit that's it may be true, but it may not be appropriate for most of YouTube, I guess. But
yeah, but it is what it is. We good. I mean, I'm still small enough where I think I'm under the radar. But
just stop me if I get too out there.
Yeah, like we good. But I mean, there's a lot of things. I would say this as well. I think most women know these things inherently. They just suppress it. I really do. I think a lot of women suppress their femininity to a point where it does them a disservice. But I would actually, and this is, you got two men. We gave our takes on this. But I ain't gonna lie to you. You need to talk to women that you know that have successful long-term relationships and ask them. Sister Naya, JSWANS' wife, my sister, right? You know what I mean? She's the type of woman, like, you need to be around women like that, ladies. Like, if you were out there and you had a past and you trying to, you're trying to rebuild yourself, rebrand yourself, you need to be around these women who aren't 304s. Right, you need to be around these chicks who aren't gold diggers. You need to be around these chicks, you know what I mean? They can show you how to be a woman. Brother JSWANS is right here, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his wife. LOL, wifey says if women are real friends, they tell each other what they should wear, something, or they need to hit the gym. She did that with her girlfriends the other day. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be around those type women. If you want to, if your goal is to have a successful long-term relationship with a man, you need to find a woman who has accomplished those goals and talk to him. Even if you're just around and you can see what it takes. But so many women get around a successful woman like that, successful with a relationship, and now the woman who's around trying to watch will try to steal that guy because they think it's not the work that the woman does, that her friend did. right? We'll say the friend is woman number one. Woman number one is the woman who has this long-term relationship with this man. Woman number two comes in, was like, well, it's not her. I could just steal the man by pushing the twins out and wearing sexy clothes and flirting with him and letting him blow my back out. Nah, you gotta, don't do that. Don't cut out woman number one. Figure out what woman number one did to get that, to attract that high value guy and to keep that high value guy after sex. So don't ask me, don't ask Brother Cody, don't go ask Fresh and Fit or Andrew Tate or Rich Cooper. Go ask the women who've done it. That would be my advice.
I would almost say don't even ask, because most of them won't give you a straight answer, kind of like what I was talking about before. Or they might give you an answer thinking that that's what's doing it, but that's not actually what's doing it. And I've said this to other girls before. Look at what they are doing. Look at how they act. Look at what their husband is doing and how they act and how the two of them act together. And that's not for the dysfunctional relationships. That's for the ones that you can see are very happy working ones. Look at the results. Look at how they act, and then take that into consideration. Never mind what the fuck they say, because people are full of shit on both sides, honestly.
Yeah,
Look
absolutely.
at the results and act accordingly.
Sister Candace, it's not about getting sex from a man. It's keeping a man after sex. That's what women, struggle with. Yeah, women definitely struggle with that. Miss AKA ladies in the house, what's good, love? Welcome. You know what I'm saying? We're here with Brother Cody, man. We having a really serious, you know what I mean, no holds barred conversation. So strap in and be ready, baby. It's going down. Sister Candace, anecdotally speaking, women aren't getting dolled up to attract men. They are doing so to compete with other women. Facts.
Yes,
Facts.
but no. Yes, but no. Like, yeah, but you're competing with other women to attract men. So, like, how are you gonna, that's the whole competition, is which one's going to be looking better, and you're not looking better for other women.
So it's kind of hand in glove. You're okay.
I find that to be a bullshit comment. If I can say so. I hear that a lot, to be honest with you, but I disagree.
I mean, because I can see women do get pretty, they get dolled up, right? But they also want to show the other women. It's kind of like, well, I'm still fine enough to protect y'all from taking my man from me. Maybe that's part of it. So I can't go out here. So I guess in a sense, back to the man, though, doesn't it? Still goes back to the man. Yes, I was going to say that, but okay. I mean, I can see both sides of it. I've used to hear this so many times. Women get dolled up for other women, but I'm like, well, but how, like, wearing the short skirts, like having the stuff hanging out. You doing that for women too? You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. But at the end of the day, it goes back to the man. I know I got this good guy. I'm gonna keep this guy. But I'm with you, bro. Like the prettiest women I come across are the ones who are just naturally beautiful. They rarely wear makeup. Those are the women that I'm like, I ain't never leaving. Like, if you got me a dime like that, she naturally beautiful, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Especially if you're with a guy, he's going to appreciate you dressing nice in a conservative way. You don't need to dress like a hoe to look good at all. So get that fucking shit out of your mind. In general, especially if a guy's already with you, he's not going to be wanting you to be showing your titties and fucking showing your ass everywhere. There's ways you can look good, and even to other girls, if you can dress classy, it's going to look a lot better and more respectable than if you're got all your bits dangling out.
Yeah, and being classy is key too. That's another thing too. I tell this to women all the time. Like, the sexiest thing in this world is your man comes home, you don't have any makeup on, you wearing a pair of his shorts with the drawstring pulled all tight and like a loose little shirt or whatever, walking around. Man, there's nothing more sexy than that to me. Anyway, I'm like, boy, I might get 5 steps in the house before I'm going after her. Like, she like, stop. Like, no, girl, you look good right now. But if I came home and she's wearing lingerie and she's got on makeup and she's trying to be all alluring, I'm like, man, can I watch the game? That's not sexy to me. Now we're just talking about one man. That's just how I see it. Maybe there are guys out there who love that. They want to come home and their wife or their girlfriend looks like a sex doll. That's their thing. But I don't find that attractive.
I actually agree with you a lot on that. I find quite often girls do that, and they're trying to, like, they do like all the extra whore up dressing to be extra for the guy. For me, it's like why? Like, if you wanted to look good for me, just don't wear anything. That'd be a lot better. You didn't spend however many $100s on this nonsense that, number one, you want me to rip off too. So that's just gone money. And and we don't care. Like, we're just like, sweet. So now I got to take all this extra shit off now. Like, sometimes I get it. So if you want to do that spice or whatever you call it, I guess. But in general, it's not going to do as much as you think it is. Like a lot of this clothing and extra shit, like that's marketed to you girls. It's not marketed for the guys. Maybe guys will design it, but it's usually gay dudes anyway. So it's meant for you to think it's sexy, for you to buy. Guys don't care. They want you to look classy when you got your clothes on, and when you don't got your clothes on, then it's go time.
Right. That's real talk. Brother Andy's in the house. What's good, fam? Welcome. Yes, Andy is here. Brother Jose, exactly. Sister Candace, Win, Cody, thank you for your response. Absolutely. Ms. Globe Girl, absolutely facts at Candace. There's nothing that a woman with the red pill narrative says that matters to women who can think for themselves. Good point. And look at Brother Andy, sandwiches and sex, simple. Like, yeah, come home to sandwiches. That's one of the funniest things.
Making a dude food goes a huge fucking way.
It's real talk, though. It's real talk, man. I remember I had this woman, and you know what I mean? All right, I'll get into it. I might as well get into the whole thing. Hold on one second. Let's do the whole thing, y'all. Right?
Everybody sit down, please. It's story time.
All right, I'm in LA. Right, I'm in LA, and I meet this woman. I'm out in Sunset. This is when Sunset Strip was still popping, but it was at the end of its run. I'm in my favorite joint, Trocadero. Shout out to them. I think they're still there. And I met these two women. You know, one of them was younger, one of them was older. Long story boring. I wound up in a relationship with the younger. By relationship, I mean we were smashed. I'm smashing the younger one, and she was crazy. I mean, she had on tons of makeup because she had real bad acne, real bad skin. So she was a wizard with her makeup. Her body was in shape. She ate well, but her real face, her true face, was not pretty, and that kind of reflected kind of what she was on the inside because she was so upset about the face and the fakeness or whatever. But I dealt with this woman. Why? She could cook, bro. She could cook. So she lived hours away, but when she came to LA, she would stay with me, and I would be at work. I would come home from work, and there would always be a hot meal waiting on me. She would have my food. She would have like dinner done, dessert, and then she would make me a White Russian, which was like at the time I was drinking White Russians and like a dessert drink. I would come home. I would eat. I would sit down in my chair. She would give me a massage. Little shorty was crazy. She was batshit crazy, but guess what? I messed with her for a long time because she cooked. That's how important that shit was. I had to get rid of her when I found out she was like, when I wasn't home, she was playing with my weapons. She would have, and these back then, these weapons were weapons. They ain't like what I got now. So I found out she was messing with my weapons, and I had to get rid of her because I'm like, all right, she is crazy. I don't know what she's about to do. And I was so mad because I lost my chef. Man, the sex was amazing too. Crazy people got the best sex, the absolute best sex. But she cooked on top of it. So what you said about cooking going a long way, bro. I kept a crazy woman in my house because she cooked for me all the time. After sex, before sex, you know what I mean? Wake up in the morning, breakfast, get home from work, dinner. Oh, man.
Kryptonite.
God damn, kryptonite. I miss it. You know what I mean, brothers Smeebles. Listen and reflect to what you hear and make an opinion that best serves you. Absolutely. That's real talk right there. Sister, follow or make those wings when the boys come over. I got y'all. Yeah. If you could cook, you could cook.
That's a good point, Kiara, actually. If you can display your femininity to his friends as well and your servitude to him, that will gain you massive respect from him and from his friends, which will make him be respected more by his friends on top of that, which raises his status, which raises your status. So that's actually a really good point.
Damn, that's a good point. And I didn't think about that, but when I look at my man JSWANS when he walks into the room with his beautiful wife, Sister Naya, everyone in the room stops and they look at them. You talk about just regal. They're just the way they carry themselves. There you have it. There's your high value man and your high value woman. Right there. That's when you see this. Men and women working better together than apart. they raised two men who are out here taking the world by storm, right? Getting it done. Yeah, they made it have one of them. Maybe they have some hiccups here and there, but these dudes, these young men are on their way to being successful because they came from that home. So if that's what you're looking for, ladies, y'all need to I say go talk to someone if you can find a woman who's going to tell you the truth, or sit back and just observe. And don't think that I'm going to just be a 304 and steal some guy from some woman. Don't do that. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Brother Jose DL spitting, you know what I mean? And also says facts to brother Cody. Rod Eric's in the house, man. Fresh and fit. Dallas Cornerstone up in his joint. What's good? What's good? Welcome. Thanks for coming through. Miss AKA lady has something she wanted to say. I think being attracted to toxicity, AKA man yelling in your face, is an immature trait. I have a grown folks house, right? All that yelling ain't allowed in my spot. Come peaceful or go home. Hey, I ain't mad at you. You don't want. What's your take on this, man? You hear about these toxic relationships and people, men and women, who get into this relationship with bad people, but they don't want to leave. Why do you think that's a case?
I think that they're bad people too.
Deep down? Oh, really? Continue.
Well, if you're attracted to toxicity, you're probably toxic yourself. A lot of girls throw around toxic in the sense that they don't get the reaction they want from having their temper tantrum to their guy. And it's like, okay, but who is really toxic in that situation? Now, I don't encourage yelling in your face if she's referring to what I was talking about before, where the guy says, sit down and shut the fuck up kind of thing. That is not, you don't just do that in general. That's a response to when she's acting erratic. And half the time, that's what they want. They want to be checked. They want to say, no, that's not okay to act like that. And quite often when you do, the response isn't what you think, where she's going to run out and leave you. The response is submission and a happy and horny girlfriend after that. I think there are a lot of women that are attracted to certain toxic traits, sure, but women are chaos. I'd say in general, men are order, women are chaos. It's yin and yang. We're opposites, not the same.
Yeah, because and I ain't gonna lie to you, like I've seen that. I've been in that position when I had to tell some, like when they get too big, like we call it getting big. Like you're gonna get big on me like that, I'll tolerate a lot. But as a woman, if you gonna try to get real big on me, yeah, I'm gonna tell you to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But if you get me to that point, that's it. I'm gone. You ain't gonna hear much more from me because you're never getting past that point. If you got me to that point where I had to use those words, I'm out the door. Now, a lot of people were like, but they're like, man, you bailing too soon. I'm like, come on, man, you know me. If you got to get me to a point where I got to get big on you, you're not who I want to be with, because that's not going to be the only time.
Right, which is my point. Like, don't be like starting shit for nothing. A lot of girls do that because they're fucking bored, or they want some sort of like oomph reaction, right? And that, I think that's a toxic trait as well. If you're fighting just for the sake of excitement for you, you're fucked up, right? Like you need to check that shit. I agree. If number one, if it's a real argument, like you can argue. It shouldn't get to the point where they're screaming and yelling at all. But if it does, as a man, you need to fucking stop that shit. And the way you're going to do it is by stopping it with your voice. Hopefully you don't got to ever get physical with shit, because that's not okay, right? But who's likely to start screaming and going erratic first? Usually it's the woman, right? And I agree. If that's like I could see it being okay one time for her to be acting like that or something like this, because women do get crazy. We can all acknowledge that and work around it, right? But if that's a common thing at all, you should leave, man. You don't want to deal with that for the rest of your fucking life. Are you kidding? Yeah,
you don't. Now we're getting into that quarrelsome woman thing, and it's better to be on the roof, right? So then deal with that. And I, because I'm never one to deal with that. I can't. I'll refuse to deal with that. If you're gonna act like that around me, first, that's embarrassing. Like we already talked about that. You don't want to. That's embarrassing.
Well, it's in public. Fuck that.
Right. It's gonna happen in public. If you let it slide in the house, it's definitely gonna happen in public. If it happens in the house more than once, to me, that's a lack of respect for yourself and for me, right? And for what we got going on. Like, you don't care about any of this, man. I gotta go because it's not gonna get better. You know what I mean? That's my take on it. But I could be wrong, bro. Like, what do I know? I'm just an old man sitting in the attic talking to his computer, bro. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Miss Globe Girl, I don't think the depiction of women being discussed today is the majority. Okay. And I get, and she's talking about what we hear about in the manosphere and like the stuff we see in media. I believe it is more a segment of the female population
I believe it is the majority, Glow Girl. I think you may not want to. I think you're failing by considering yourself part of the majority. The fact that you're on here watching this shows that you're not. So you may have a circle of friends that are similar to you and acquaintances like such, but the reality is the majority of people are fucking retards. The majority of people are fucking sheep, and that's for both sexes, both sides. It's a sad reality, but I didn't know it was as bad as what it is. I've always known it was pretty bad, but I didn't know it was this bad till a few years ago.
And I'm tossed on it. I'm torn. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. Me and JSWANS, we talk about this all the time. We talk about this offline. And with respect to with the way women are acting out here, like the way that they are, the sexual marketplace, the way they are dealing with the sexual marketplace and sexualizing themselves and stuff like that. We go back and forth. JSWANS is like, man, that's not the majority of women. I'm like, I think it is. And the only reason I think it is because women are being kind of programmed in a way by media to show that that's the way to be. You have to be super sexualized. You got to be the boss babe. You got to take control in the marketplace, in the boardroom, in the bedroom. So they're being encouraged to do this. And you have women who are watching this from this, like you said, and people are sheep. Most people are followers. Not everyone's a leader. So they're like, well, if that's working for Susie and everybody else, and look at the TV, you look at the movies, well, okay, I got to be that way too. I got to go out here and smash a bunch of dudes. I got to go out here. But I mean, I don't have any stats to back it up, brother. It's just, and what JSWANS says to me all the time, he was like, well, look at the circles that you're moving in. And I'm like, damn, you got a good point. Because I am still, when I do go out, I'm in the lounges, I'm in the clubs, I'm in the, you know what I mean? I'm in these places where married folk aren't going to be. I'm not in places where, you know what I mean? So, yes, they shouldn't be. So I don't know, brother. I haven't made up my mind yet. I think that I want to say that I personally believe from what I'm seeing that there are more women out there who are living that 304 life than women out there living that married, that feminine wife life. But I'm open to someone showing me the truth, because I don't even know how you get those numbers. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
I think the best way is to look at it from anecdotal life experience. If you see, like, the fact that you have all these help channels for girls that are fucked up or trying to seek men, like how many, I looked up last night, I was like, where did all the good men go? If you type that in on Google or whatever, and you'll see that like that conversation has been going on since the fucking 70s when all this nonsense kind of started, even maybe a bit before that.
Yeah, like the mid 60s.
Yeah. So it's been a common thing for a long time, and it's not gotten better. I'd say it's probably gotten worse. Maybe the pendulum is starting to swing the opposite way now, but that's just starting, unfortunately. Right? And you hear about all these dudes can't find girls because they're all hoes, and I can speak from that from example myself. A lot of these girls that want to do the relationship, I'm like, you don't qualify to be in a relationship with me. Like that, I can smash you for a bit, but I will never take you seriously, and that's just the way it is.
And I think that's the trap, because women use sexuality and sex, and they're like, well, my sex is the best. So once I give him this sex, once I give it to him, and we're talking about the top tier guys, right? A guy who has options, she's thinking, I got him. But then she realizes, oh, you just one of hundreds, because I'm going on to the next one. I don't want anything to do with you because of all the makeup you're wearing, because you got all, I can see everything, because you ran over here. And a lot of people are like, well, so that's why you shouldn't have sex on the first date. Doesn't matter when you have sex. You know what I mean? Dudes can tell the difference. They can tell. They can tell if you're 304 living that life, or you a woman out here with a purpose. The dudes can tell the difference. It's how what happens after sex that really matters. And I think that's where the media comes in. And I think a lot of women got it twisted. I think there are a lot of good women out there who are making bad choices. There's just like there are a lot of good dudes out there who are making bad choices, spending tons of money on. I could learn how to be the top G. Nothing against my man Andrew Tate. Nothing but respect for him. But he ain't offering you nothing that you can't figure out on your own, and he tells you that. He tells you that up front. You can do this on your own, bro. But if you want to give me the money, come on. I'll take it. You know what I mean? So I do believe there are more women right now. The percentage might be, 51-49. I'll make it as close as that. I think it's 51% of women out there being 304s and they're not comfortable and they shouldn't do it and they're hurting their value long term by smashing all these dudes. I would say that, but it's really, really close. Brother Michael's in the house. What's good, fam?
Shout out to Michael. He's actually how he's what led me onto your channel.
Oh, no shit. Good looking out. Appreciate that, brother Mike. He's like, nah, you spitting facts, Unc. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. Y'all know I'm an old man. Like, he gonna come out here at some point. We gonna meet up, man. We got to get into the ring. Like, man, we get into the ring. We can spar. I'm like, oh, bro. Now I got to start training a little bit more because I can't let nobody beat me. So we gonna have to, you know what I mean? Shout out to you, brother. Brother Smeebles, I find women more sexy with nice fitted clothes. Yeah, not super tight, but just fitted. Miss Globe Girl, what kind of women are y'all around? And that is a good point, Miss Globe Girl. I am around. I go out places some places I go, there's all 304s. Some places I go, they're like, just business women. But I'm here to tell you, when business women let their hair down, they get wild like alphas. They're in a world where they got to be tough. There's a lot of masculine traits involved in that business world. When they let their hair down, they wild out like the dudes wild out. Right, I saw that in my career as an air traffic controller. I saw that in every career I've been around. These high pressure careers women get into. It's hard to shut off the masculine. You need that masculine to progress in your career, but it's hard to shut that off. You know what I mean? What's your take on that, bro?
Okay, so I got a few things to say about that. And so from what type of girls that I'm around, I don't really go to the club or bars very much at all. When I do, I don't even have to say shit to take these bitches home. Half the time they're coming up to me trying to grab my junk or grab my ass. It's fucking hilarious. So girls at those type of places are for sure like that. But also I see it in general society, and that's where I get my opinions from. I don't base it off just the club lifestyle and shit. I base it off what I've been seeing my whole fucking life. I base it off what I see encouraged in the media my whole life. I base it off what's been taught in school. And from, you can look at all these shows and see the same thing. The fact that everybody's talking about it now and has been for a bit, but you haven't seen really this push to try to straighten things out till around now, or at least I haven't. I get that maybe the red pill, quote unquote, shit has been going a couple of years. It's super new to me, but you have to admit that that's not a common thing. And as far as like the back to Globe Girl with the majority shit, I would say the majority are the type that have been programmed by the media and the social engineering to be hoes or more masculine type of thing. Because the actual good ones are a small minority, and that's reality. So you got maybe the largest population, let's say, are the hoes or the more masculine types. Then you got the loser types, the super overweight, hiding in their basement type bitches or got green hair and are mentally fucking ill. And then you got the combo of like overweight, mentally ill hoes. And then what's left is the actually what guys want, right? They don't even need to be a virgin at all, because that's like the tiniest percent fucking unicorn shit. The smallest percentage are girls that actually have a fucking head on their shoulders, which is why it's valued. I mean, it's valued just on its basis, but it's valued extra in the West. And I should clarify that, because we're talking about North America and maybe some of these Western countries in Europe, right? Not the rest of the world's not fucked up like we are. They're not. It's here with all the social engineering. You can go to other countries and you're like, oh, people are fucking sane here. Weird, right? You don't have these couples competing to be the fucking man. It's just not the case. It's here that all the social engineering is going on, and it creates this team bullshit. Yeah,
and I've seen that. I mean, there's certain places of the world where this isn't a thing. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of places like they have serious conflict and it's not a thing, because women are not trying to get out there and catch that round. You know what I mean? I think Andrew Tate said it. Like, when you get to societies that are closer to societies that are really bad and like it's a struggle just to eat, those places are where men and women tend to gravitate to their gender roles freely, and it's just a thing. Whereas you got places where it's safe America, New Zealand, Australia, UK, whatever, Europe, where it's safe. Now you have this fight for control, right? You had this fight maybe brewing a little bit in Ukraine until the Russians came across the border. Then women got on the buses and left, and all the men went out to go fight. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I'm sure there was some women went out there and fought too. I'm sure it was, but the majority of them stayed with the kids because that's what you should do. And I'm with you there, but this is where we do have a problem. This is why all this content exists. This is why people are spending millions and millions of dollars trying to figure it out. This is why, you know what I mean? Like you said, social, like real media, mainstream media is trying to suppress it. And it's getting to a point where they can't, right? We're getting to a point where we're coming up on, we're going to have generations of women at home with their cats, lonely, right? And just off their rocker because they've been passing up good man after good man after good man, hoping to get a top tier dude. And people are trying to stop that. So, I mean, it's something to think about.
Too, right?
Yes.
It's already going on.
It's already going on, but it's about to be epidemic levels.
Yeah. Well, 100%, especially if it keeps going the way it has been. And you can be mad at what I say, but I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not going to sell you fucking anything. I'm just telling you it like it fucking is. And I'll respond to Candace here. Cody, you think that you stated that men don't like all that makeup. So which is it? If the men aren't attracted to makeup, then why would a woman wear it to attract men? Well, Candace, women do a lot of shit that they think is going to attract men that doesn't fucking work. Okay. They've been sold via marketing and all this fucking nonsense. That's good. Just like how being a hoe is good. You got fucking cocksuckers like that Adam guy, I finally remembered his name, encouraging women to go out and hoe it up before marriage because that's going to make you a better wife. That's fucking nonsense. It's actually creating problems. And a lot of times women will paint a false image on their face to be something that they're not. And it's like, you may try to be prettier to attract a guy, but guys in general aren't attracted to makeup. Some girls are really good with it though. Okay. They're really good with pretending to be this whole other person. But as soon as that shit comes off, do you think dude's going to stick around? No. So you're still doing it for guys, right? You could say like, oh, I do it to build my confidence so other women don't think I'm ugly. Sure. But really it all comes around to being attractive for the guy. It just does.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another thing too. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you ladies. I don't care what you look like. If your body's right, if you're fit, you're friendly and you feminine, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's not a dude that will kick you out of the bed because they want you to wear makeup. Not wearing makeup has never been a deal breaker. I've never heard a dude like, but I can't wait. I can't wait to see that girl with all that makeup on. What dudes are saying, even when they see you in there, you know, made yourself up to be a dime, right? The guys are like, I wonder what she looks like without the makeup. That's what dudes are saying. Like, they don't take you home and still try to smash or whatever, but they're like, I wonder what she looks like without the makeup. And when they find out, right, by the time they find out, they really don't care. Most of the men are like, they'll probably tell you like, baby, you don't have to wear this makeup. You got me. I'm already here. Now that you got me, who you wearing the makeup for? Why I'm wearing it for my girls? Nah, they're not gonna go for that. No, you know what I mean? Yeah, I would definitely say that. And Sister Candy was like, she was like, and I said anecdotally, not the whole of all women. And we get that. You know what I mean? We get that. And these conversations, they can be tough, but they're needed right now. I think there are a lot of women, not that I think, I know, there are a lot of women out there who are struggling with relationships, right? They're chasing after these top tier guys. These guys are blowing them out. You know what I mean? They're pumping and dumping and they're going to the next one. Ladies, all I got to say to y'all is quit chasing these dudes. Give it one shot, maybe two. And if that doesn't work, go ahead and get you a guy. Understand where you at. If you are, let's say, an 8, a 7, a 6, whatever you are, and you can't get that top tier dude, well, go ahead and get the guy that's your equal right across the aisle there. Quit. You know, hypergamy is a great strategy, but it can ruin your life. You know what I mean? If you don't rein it in, at some point, you're going to have to get someone. You're going to have to get the guy. He might not be the top tier guy, but he could be like the top of the bottom 80. Get that guy. And I'm not saying make him a better guy. I'm not saying mold him into something. No, get the guy that's doing what he's supposed to do, that's going to love you and cherish you and respect you and work hard for you. And most of all, protect you and be willing to die for you. Get that guy. You know what I mean? Quit chasing after the wrong dudes, because those dudes are just gonna smash. And keep in mind, all the other women are chasing after that guy, ladies. So just keep that in mind.
Understand where you're at too. Like, just because Chad will fuck you doesn't mean he's gonna ship you up relationship. You know what I mean? It's just
it's not. Yes, that's true.
And
you're
gonna devalue yourself more for the next dude who might actually have considered you highly valuable before. The more of these fucking dudes are going out and smashing and belittling yourself with, you're dirtying yourself bit by bit. You can be mad at that or whatever, but that's how it is.
Yeah, and dudes, it's not the same for guys because it's hard for men to get sex. It's hard for men to that's why most dudes don't even do it. So for a guy to be able to get himself a woman, yeah, the more he can get, the higher his status is going to seem, because it's so difficult. Ladies, y'all are so picky. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's just not. But as a woman, no matter what you look like, you can just go out there right now and find some dude to have sex with you. Of course you can. There's no such thing as an incel being a female. There's no such thing as involuntarily celibate as a female. It doesn't exist, right? That's for men. That term, that's for those guys who are the basement dwellers, right? They don't know what's going on. They're not socially calibrated. They haven't figured it out yet. You know what I mean? They may never figure it out. Those guys are involuntarily celibate. They cannot get Foxy Brown, period. There's not a woman on the planet that's involuntarily celibate.
Yeah,
not
somebody.
Anybody is smashed. So ladies, just keep that in mind. Like, just because like you giving your sex, like, man, I'm not trying to make anybody mad, but your sex, like your Foxy Brown is like everybody else's Foxy Brown. It doesn't really mean anything especially to the guys that you're giving it to. How about you find yourself an up and coming guy, bottom 80 dude, and it'll work on him. That Foxy Brown power will work on him, but it's not going to work on dudes who are used to getting it. It's just not. You know what I mean? If that's all you bring to the table is sex, that's not going to work on those top tier dudes. So ladies, quit chasing them if you ain't top tier material. Miss AKA lady, the lingerie is icing on a special occasion. If she wants to dress up in a different way, roll with it, because she is in that mood. You probably getting something extra, whatever gets the mood going. We agree. We understand that. But again, the lingerie isn't for the man. Like the lingerie,
it's for her confidence and for her to make herself feel like she's more attractive and sexy. So it's an ego boost for yourself, right? Not so much for the guy. Like, we might enjoy it, sure, but like it's coming off like that. Like you could have been better off and saved money if you had just been naked waiting for him. He would have been just as happy.
Right. And then Brother Jose, I'm just catching up with the chats with my story time story. Brother Jose was like, damn, she was crazy. Yeah, man, she was out of her mind, but the sex was amazing. Y'all have no idea, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then Sister Candace said, Brother Michael, she's like, that's your own personal soundbite when you enter the chat. Oh, story time. Hilarious. It's like, sounds like sounds like she had you trained, DL. That was from Miss Globe Girl. No, she didn't have me trained. It was never going to work. It was never going to work. She was too crazy. But that little part right there, because she could cook, that kept her on board just a little bit longer. You know what I mean? That's all that was. It kept her around just a little bit longer. And here's the thing. If she could have fixed her crazy, maybe she could have got on. If she'd have got some help, or if she had friends around her who was like, yo, you got yourself a good guy. You're cooking. Now do this. Now, hey, he knows what you look like. Take the makeup off, baby. He does it. You don't need it. You know what I mean? Show him, be vulnerable with him. If she had that crew, but she had no one that could help her out. And then, she had to go. In fact, I think I started smashing my neighbor. That's what really happened. I got rid of her and started smashing my own neighbor, who was just as crazy.
I actually want to touch on something real quick because it reminds me of what we were talking about before. Girls, if you can be butt fugly in the face, honestly. If you are feminine and you are ladylike, especially ladylike, but also nice, you can work on your body. You can do a whole bunch of shit that it's not like guys like the face. Yes, it's nice to have, but it's not going to be the most important thing. Your attitude and how you act is going to be the most important thing. Then it's going to be your body. Like face is not the top tier of the shit. There's a lot you can do to get a really good guy if you're going to work on yourself. There's hope for everybody.
There's hope for everybody. Miss Glow Girl wants to know, is our guest married or in a committed relationship? This is not me. Holla, 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 holla. I'm just curious. I don't know. It sounds like it does sound like you trying to know. Holla, 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 holla. That's what it sounds like, girl. I ain't mad at you. But brother Cody, yeah, the people want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
No, I've had a few try to get me down to that point, and I've had to end it because I'm not going to continue to lead them on the path that they're not going to go. But I don't like the way marriage is these days. I don't think it's worth it for men at all. If you want to have a life partner, sure, go do that. As far as signing those legal documents and getting yourself fucked over, I think it's a really bad idea as a guy. Now, if you could get to, like, my opinion on marriage is that shit should be for life, period. There's no leaving. That's what you swear to do. It's a promise you make to each other, right? It's a vow. It's a promise.
And your God, if you believe in such things, and your God.
You're swearing to your partner. You're swearing to your family and their family. You're swearing to God, and you're swearing to the government. Okay. And as far as like the whole me being in a relationship, whether that's valid or not, like I've been in 6 years, I've done 4 years, and I've done a couple 2-year ones. So I've been in relationships, and I've been a little hoe myself too. It's not a winning situation for guys to get married. It's not in the West. Other countries, different story. In the West, it's bad. A lot of guys will be eager to do it because they're thinking that's going to like lock in that girl and she's not going to like leave or some shit. It's not the case. And most of the guys that are like hyper thirsty to get married, they're usually like some beta fucking loser that you're not going to want to marry. Or if you do, you're going to leave them in a couple of years.
Yep. And Ms. Glowgray has another point here. The majority of women are not 3 or 4s. Here's the thing, love. If they wanted to be, they could be. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy for them to get sexual access from men. And again, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that the media encourages that type of behavior. Right. When I'm talking about the stories we tell, the movies we have, the TV shows that we have, that promiscuous behavior is being pushed. So I tell women who would listen to me, hey, if you want to go out there and do that, you want to have hot girl summer and all that kind of stuff, great, go ahead and do it, but keep it in the closet. Don't film it. Don't let people know what you're doing. Do your dirt all by your lonely, because I ain't gonna lie to you, Miss AKA lady, and most of the bubbles that I move in, them ladies getting it in. They are getting it in. And I'm talking about single and married women. That's another reason I'm co-signing with Brother Cody right here as far as getting married. At my age, not worth the risk. You know, but there are a lot of people out there, they get married, they're in their situation, and they doing their thing. They want to keep their husband or they want to keep their wife. Cheating goes both ways. But I've been with way too many women who were married to have any kind of confidence in the institution. And I know it doesn't work for men. Like once it's over, the dude's coming out of pocket. Maybe that'll change. We'll see. But the majority of women are not 304s. I give you that. But I'll say the breakdown is 51-49.
That's a nice way of doing it. I would say that the majority aren't, just because there's a large majority that are not good enough looking to be 304s. It also depends what you consider a 304. Right? What I would consider a 304 is going to be a much lower number than a lot of guys would consider a 304. And you're going to find that goes up with the guy who can get more will allow less. And that, like, nothing I say is meant to insult anybody. Is just the way that I see how it is. So, right.
And I believe people, I think people understand that. We're not sitting here trying to, there's no hate intended on this particular stream. We're just trying to, these two men having a discussion, and we're including everyone. But it's just our society right now, man. I'm just telling you, women are being encouraged to be loose. And I'm saying that if you want to be loose, but keep that information private, because it will bite you in the ass. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And the reaction to being a 304 is nobody's going to want you, not the guys you're going to want.
I honestly, I want the best for both peoples. I really do. And that's why I say that it's really bad that people will be lying to each other, and having people go through the life in this delusion thinking that they're going to get a better result. When in reality, you're getting the results that you're fucking getting for a reason, right? If it's been working like shit so far, why would you continue that?
That's a good point. And Miss AK Lady is saying, and again, I'm just trying to catch up with the chat. I know Sister Candace had to leave. Have fun out there. It's Halloween. She got to go out there and be with the kiddies. I ain't mad at her. Miss AK Lady, if you fish in a certain pond, you're gonna get certain fish. After a while,
Absolutely.
yeah, after a while, you start to think that every fish is just like those in your pond, but there are different ponds with new fish. Yeah, no one, and we like we said, like I started when I said what I said. I prefaced it with. I am moving in certain circles, but even when I move in the other circles, you know what I mean? A lot of times too, when you add alcohol, I'm telling you, there are women who have lower body counts. And you mentioned this earlier in the show, and I got to agree with it. Women who have lower body counts, they find it disgusting to give their bodies to another man. But women with high body counts are just used to it. It's not a big thing to them. So again, I will concede that point right there. But I've been with women who were happily married and still are to this day, right? Smashing me in the crib while their husband is downstairs, you know, entertaining the guest or whatever. I'm up in the bathroom, in the master bathroom with his wife, and she doing, and maybe this is an understanding. Maybe he knew what she was doing. They got to understand it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it just seems to be hedonistic these days, bro. And simply because you married, I mean, when I was really, if you're a single guy, put a wedding ring on and go out and watch what happens.
Women are the best bait.
The best, bro.
Go to the club with a girl or a couple. You'll get even more attention. And that's noticeable from right away too. Like anytime a guy's been in a relationship, you'll notice your female attraction and interaction goes up huge. It goes up huge.
It does.
The amount of attention you're going to get from girls is drastic.
It's that social proof. You go out, you're married. That means a woman finds you capable of providing, provisioning, and all that kind of protecting. Boom. You're already, all right, that's one. I can, you know, especially the chicks out there just trying to get it. That's one. You know what I mean? If you out in the club, you hit it right on there. If I'm going out, if I'm some big city or wherever, some small city, and I walk in with a couple women, bro, that's when I come out with chicks. That's when you get those one-nighters fast because they see social proof. Oh, he's with these two dimes. They got a table. You know how many girls we'll get in that section? It's ridiculous how it works. And the girls come in there and they be like, oh, this dude is cool. He's being co-signed by these two beautiful women. Yeah, I want to go back to your suite. I want to go back to your hotel. Y'all doing something over there? Like, we might have a couple drinks if you want to come join. Okay, I'll go. All day long. All day, man. So, like I said, yes, I get it. I'm moving in those bubbles. But it could be a corporate event. It could be a comedy show, like an entertainment event. It could be whatever. It's just, I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of women out there who are just loose these days, bro. Any thoughts from you there, Brother Cody?
No, I agree. I mean, it's a pre-validation, right? So it shows that you're safe. It shows that you're already desired. So it's an easy verification for a lot of girls. You know, plus like girls love to take guys from other girls. I think that's kind of like a vicious quality a lot of these have, but it's just the case.
Oh,
like I said before, like you'll notice it as soon as you get a girlfriend. The attention you get from girls trying to steal you away is way more. It's like a 20 times multiplier. It's fucking hilarious. Man, I don't like that, but it's the way it fucking is.
My brother Rook is in the house. My brother Rook is in the house, man. Shit, I think he was just up there where you was. He was just in Canada not too long ago. Yo, what's good, bro? Yo, Rook, this man right here, bro, he can roll with us, man. He in the gym like you in the gym. He can roll with us, man. We might have to take him to the range or something, bro. We get him to come down here, man. This dude right here ain't afraid to speak. Ain't afraid to speak his mind. And as y'all know, Rook comes on, and we talk about a lot of history with Rook. We did the show, the history of warrior women. Still one of my biggest viewed shows. Rook's the man, and we talk about this stuff all the time too. And he sees it. He won't, man. Y'all just don't know, bro. I'm trying to tell you. The stuff that we've seen. Miss AKA Lady, how can you speak in such absolutes when number of 304s aren't statistically measured? I believe how you view the world will become your reality. That's why different people have different experiences. And Miss Globe Girl, goes on to co-sign, how you view the world will become your reality. Yeah. But it's like we say, oh, go ahead, bro.
Don't take it that I think all girls are 3 or 4s. Like I've traveled a lot, dude. Like a lot. I've been all over North America, up and down. I've been to Europe. You know, I've been to Spain. I've been to France. I've been to England. Like I've seen a lot of it. And most of what I'm talking about for how these women act, I'm talking about North America in the West. Now, granted, the more you go to, say, more rural areas, right, away from the cities, it's not the case as much. But those aren't the type of people we're speaking about, right? The majority of the population is consolidated into these big cities where they're hyper celebrity focused, they're hyper media focused, and they tend to reflect the type of media that they consume. And they tend to have the same hoe friends, and they act like each other. It's just how it is.
Yep, and I want to read this from Miss Globe Girl. We're gonna react to this, and then I'm gonna go through the rest of the chats after we respond to it, and we're gonna close it up. Because bro, we're coming up on 2 hours, man. I can't even believe it been this. I thought we were gonna go an hour, bro, but this is I really enjoyed it back and forth. So Miss Globe Girl, this is sad, and I know this is not the majority. We're getting nowhere. You have women telling you how women are, but you guys still insist you know more about women than women know about themselves. I would say this. My only pushback to that is this. I know my interaction with women, right? So places like LA, Vegas, Miami, New York, Atlanta, DC, right? San Diego, San Francisco, like these type places, right? When I hit these big names, these big cities, women are like, see, that's just there. That's just there. Here's the thing about the places I just mentioned. People that you interact with in these places aren't from those places. In other words, I rarely bumped into somebody from LA when I was in LA. Same thing in Miami, same thing in DC, and so on and so on and so on. They came from everywhere else in America and other parts of the world, especially Vegas. And here's the thing, my love. I'm pretty sure at home they're wholesome, upstanding women. But when they take these trips and they wind up in some of these places, they present themselves in a way that no one knows. And like I said, if you're going to do that, keep it in the closet. I hear you. Man, I wish we had the numbers. But I've seen, I got so many stories of women from all over the world that I bumped into that will come to one of these type towns or go on some event somewhere or get on a ship. I haven't been on a cruise, but I've heard about them. And they just let loose. And I think there are more women doing that than not. That's my only point. As far as like getting women into a relationship, I know how to do that. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like when JSWANS said, man, when I was out there in the streets, you know what I mean? I know what to say to get a woman to come home. I know what to say, right? And I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie to her, but I know the role to play. Women love bad boys, right? Yeah. They love mystery. So again, it's really hard for me to tell you, and I won't say this, I'm gonna turn over to Brother Cody. Every single time that I've been a gentleman and I left the bad boy ways because I found the one, that this is the woman I want. Every single time I came away from my fundamentals of womanizing, I lost. Every single time. Every single time. So go ahead, Brother Cody.
See, Globe Girl, you can get upset, and I get it. You know, like,
and she's not upset. And I tell you right now, she's not upset, but she likes to. This is the back and forth. She always pushes back the most. That's why I love having her on.
She is. It's okay. Like I think you need to get out of your mind the fact that you're considering yourself part of the majority. And just because the majority of women you may be hanging around aren't like that, does not make that the majority of the case for the population. And as far as women telling me how women are full of shit. Women lie a lot, especially about women and men. Like I said before, like they are the worst possible people you could take relationship advice from. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. It's just how it is. Like don't get me wrong. I wish that was not the case, right? And it's like the whole like you make your own reality bullshit. Okay, those aren't the girls that I date at all. Trust me. Like I do not tolerate such things, and I don't think guys should tolerate such things either. Just like I don't think girls should be dating or fucking around with trash fucking guys. Everybody needs to vet better. And unfortunately, you vet more because the majority are not worth it. And that's just the way it is, right? If you didn't have to be vetting, you could just be going with whoever and you wouldn't be having a fucking problem. That's my take on it.
That's the take on it. And Ms. Globe Girl, she's asking, is flirting being loose? What is loose? What is men's definition of hot girl summer? Should I not go on the Maldives and wear a bikini? Does that make me loose? That does not make you loose. You know what I mean? Flirting does not make you loose, in my opinion. But when you go out and you rack up 10 bodies on your Maldives trip, that's being loose. You know what I mean? Like if you and then I'll jump to Miss AK, Miss AK lady. She's like, no, DL, were you effing a man's wife in his home? Did I hear that right? No, the man's wife was effing me. You did hear that right. She smashed me. I didn't smash her. She took me to that master bathroom and did what she did. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
But that shows that she's not good at that relationship, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, that wouldn't be fucking happening. So, and the flirting, no. If you're in a relationship and you're flirting with other guys, yes,
that's a problem.
I would say. Can you actually go back to that so I can read the rest of it? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Men's definition of hot girl summer. Hot girl summer is when you fuck off with your girls to go be a hoe and sleep with a bunch of dudes. That's the definition of a hot girl summer. You can go wear a bikini all you want. That doesn't make you loose. It doesn't necessarily paint a good picture of you if you're out in public. If you don't want to be viewed as a more loose girl, because the less conservative you are, the way you dress and the way you act, the more you're going to be viewed as being a bit more loose. If you want guys to view you a certain way, act and dress a certain way.
Yep. And I ain't gonna lie, Miss Globe Girl, I've never met you in person, but when you say you're in the Maldives, or you're out on vacation and you're wearing a bikini, if you're in the water or on the beach, I can see you might have your whole bikini on, but if you're just walking around, I bet you got one of those wrap things that the women put on that kind of covers up. It's like see-through, maybe sheer, but you kind of wrap yourself up a little bit, which I find extremely sexy, by the way. When women wear that type shit, I'm like, oh my Lord, that's just hot. Or you
more
put
classy
on
than having a G-string on, right?
Yes. Yes.
Guys are attracted to class, honestly. Quality guys. Like, you're going to get like the super thirsty fucking dudes that'll if you're dressed like an open buffet, you're probably going to get eaten, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good though. But no, that's not like being flirtatious is fine. If you see a dude you like and you want, you want to be flirtatious and y'all are flirting back and forth, that's fine. But there's definitely a line. And I think you would agree with me, love, because if you flirting with a guy at the bar and then 20 minutes later you're back in your cabin or you're back in his suite and y'all having sex, right? And then you take a shower, get cleaned up, you go back to the bar, and then 2 hours later you're doing the same thing with another man. That's hot girl summer. That's what they doing. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm here to tell you that's what they doing. I've seen it.
Yeah. It's like, hey, if you're single, go ahead and flirt, dude. Have at it. The only time I would say that that's going to make you loose is, if you're flirting with fucking everybody, that's kind of not good. But if you're in a relationship and you're entertaining and flirting guys, then yeah, you're loose. Maybe not physically loose, but you're still loose.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. And again, am I judging? If you want to do that, if women want to do that, that's fine. But I think there are a lot of women who do this. They take on this lifestyle thinking that it's just fine and they're not going to be held to any kind of standard later. It's just like, it's just sex. It is what it is. It's not going to hurt me. There's no repercussion. And I think that that's where they're being sold a bill of goods. Don't do it. And if you do it, keep it in the closet. That's all I'm saying. Don't do it because it will hurt you down the road. That guy that you met on a hot girl summers weekend and you smashed him, right? His friend might be the man of your dreams. And you kicking it with this man, you showing him the virtuous woman that you are. And then he's like, I want you to meet my man so-and-so. And this dude walk in like, oh, man, that's the dude I smashed on that hot girl summer trip. That relationship's over. That guy's going to be like, yo, that's shorty right there I was telling you about. You know what I mean? The one that let me bust her down after talking to her for 40 minutes. So that's ladies, that's all I'm saying. It can hurt you. Now, if that guy's like is a beta dude who doesn't care, all right, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, but you probably don't want him either. Right. Or at least you're just using him as the placeholder until you can get the next guy. My advice is just don't do it. It doesn't do you any favors mentally, socially, emotionally. you're screwing yourself up. You're doing yourself detriment. And I hate that that's being pushed in the media and by all these talk show hosts so much. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I think they're setting people up for failure.
And I agree with you there. Miss Globe Girl's like, I'm not upset at Cody's King. She's like, I'm just using the old
think tank. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
That's what she's using, the old think tank. That's all. And I ain't mad at it because, like I said, I love running stuff by Miss Globe Girl because she does push back. And like I said, I want people to take the opposing position and challenge my thoughts. That's where I am. That's what this platform's about. You notice ain't nobody screaming, yelling, saying all kind of fly shit. No one's doing that. We're telling you, we're opening ourselves up. Hey, man, this is how I see it. And we're exchanging anecdotal evidence or whatnot, and sometimes real stats, and we're trying to get somewhere. You know what I mean? But I'm here to tell you, there's nothing wrong with being flirtatious. There's nothing wrong with being beautiful and working on your body and wearing a bikini and going on trips. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you go on these trips, the hot girl summers trip, and you out there smashing every dude you see, that, my dear, is a problem. So we're gonna wrap this up real quick. Let me finish the last couple chats. Ms. Globe Girl, no, I'm not out in the Maldives streets with bare thong up my ass. I'm sure you're not, my love. I'm sure you're not. Brother Michael, this is Sparta. Absolutely. Hey, Brother Cody, I want to thank you, man. Thanks for coming up here. Thanks for being willing to open yourself up, man, to show your face, because a lot of people are scared to do that shit. Thank you for, you know what I'm saying, coming through this motherfucker and then sharing your views with me, bro. Final thoughts from you, and if you want to like plug yourself or include anything you want to include, please feel free to do that.
That was a lot of fun. Just keep this in mind. Like, nothing I say, and probably nothing DL says, is to make anybody feel a certain kind of way. It's just telling you like it is. And it's not fun to tell people stuff that they don't like. You know, it's not fun to tell people stuff that's going to upset them or make them feel like they're less than themselves. But we're out here doing it because the truth actually is not being said a lot. You're getting fed bullshit on both sides. And I think it leads a lot of people to their own detriment. And I'd like to see that not be the case. I'd like people to at least have a logical point to go from. And then that way they can actually make the right steps that will help them out in life later. If you want to see what I look like, because you think I'm a fucking accountant scrub or whatever the fuck, you can find me at Mr_Sledge_Hammer on Instagram is my latest one that's not shadow, or it might be partially shadow banned, or Chivalrous_Enigma is my original one.
And go check the brother out, man. Like I said, he puts in the work, man. I use that Sparta thing for a reason, man. This guy really works on his total, you know what I mean, physique, you know what I mean, not just physical, but also the mental, you know what I mean, is out there getting it, you know what I mean, being a top tier dude. So shout out to you for that, bro. Thanks everybody for coming through. I really appreciate y'all coming through and supporting. Like you said, these are tough conversations to have, but they need to be had. Let's see if we can find the numbers on how many people are promiscuous. How can we find that? Let's see. I'm curious. Are there more 304s than they are regular women? I really want to know, man. We're going to have to figure that out somehow.
It's going to depend what you consider a 304, plus bitches lie about their numbers.
That's the truth. And dudes lie too. They just lie the other way with it. You know what I mean? You got these guys out here. Yep. Yeah, they just lie the other way.
This many like bullshit. You
right, liar. So we got brother GREOS in the house. What's good, fam? Thanks for coming through. We wrapping it up. You got here right at the end. Let it be shown that we choose to die on our feet rather than live on our knees. Okay. You know what I mean? I see you. I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? So, yo, thank y'all so much for coming through. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? And again, thank you. This is Cody is King right here next to us, bro, making it happen, man. I really appreciate you coming through and and doing this show, man. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank y'all for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at 6:30. We're going to be talking about Brother Hafiz and what's going on with the red pill versus him. And then Wednesday, I'll be back to talk about the sexless man epidemic here in America. Until then, man, y'all just do what y'all doing, man. Keep being y'all, man. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast, man. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Peace.
Like and subscribe.
Darn, that's the end.